the doctor right now. Can someone put me on there? We'll just, for everybody who's logged in, we'll just start in like 2 minutes. Okay, I'm actually waiting for instructions for us to start and presuming that we're all good. Doctor, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I think we're good to go.
Yeah.
So, well, good evening again, everybody. I'm sorry I'm the one who's later here than the doctor herself. I just want to really emphasize on the fact that it's very difficult getting her appointment. So we are really blessed and lucky that we have her here for, for 1.5 hours or maybe 2 if we manage that. So Dr. Very quick introduction. They probably introduced you already. But just to let everyone know again, this is Dr. Natasha Kati, of course, an eminent psychiatrist of Mumbai City with the Nanavati Hospital. I'm sure they've already told you about her illustrious, all her qualifications. I'm not going to go into that. But I'd really like to say how special this moment is and how special, having her here is because this is my personal therapist as well. And this is a person who I have recommended so many of my friends to, and so many of them are, benefiting from her, consultation. And I want you to know this, doctor, because I probably never, worded it like this, but you're really the person I go to for my life strategies. And somebody I never leave who chamber I never leave without at least one aha moment, in that session. So thank you so much for doing this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so as we've already mentioned in our mailer to everybody, we're going to be talking about depression and mental health from the perspective of creative people and the creative mind. The reason why I wanted to emphasize this, doctor, was because in my own journey of depression and coming out of it, some of it I'd like to discuss with you, online here. I just realized that and this is my view, and please correct me if I'm wrong in something. That I felt that classical psychiatry was not really that focused on the creative mind, and I felt like our needs were very special.
Right.
And that our thinking, our way of life is really not the standard 9 to 5 job life. So all the answers that I mostly got from people were very, boxed. And really all the way till I reached you, I felt like I didn't really have very good answers and I didn't really trust that. So the question that I'd really like to start off with, doctor, is there something firstly called creative depression? Are creative people, especially writers, are they more prone to depression?
Right.
Are we just, to put it very simply, are we all just screwed up? Can you explain
All right.
this?
So I think before we really begin an answer to that question very directly, I think we need to understand how creative people are different from the relatively non-creative people. I like to think of creativity as a spectrum. So
Yes.
there are people who are not very good at creating things or starting something new or beginning something new. And there are people who are excellent and phenomenal at it. But as we go along the spectrum towards the more creative side, I think we have to realize the way a person who is inherently creative and a person who's not, the brain functioning is slightly different. Creativity by itself involves people, who tend to be out of the box thinkers. If you thought the way everyone else did, you would never be able to create art, you'd never be able to do something new, you'd never be able to do something innovative.
Right.
So by its own definition, creativity includes something we call divergent thinking, right? So if you look at, let's say, for example, you have a stone. Most people would think of stone as maybe, can ask them what are the uses of a stone and they give you one or two replies. But someone who's creative could use it for anything from a door stop to, an instrument for murder, so to speak. So it could just, divergent thinking is key to a creative mind. At the same point of time, divergent thinking gives you fantastic ideas. It's convergent thinking to turn those ideas into reality, right? So the most creative people in terms of output tend to have a balance of both, and that by itself is very different from the standard individual. The routine person is not so good at divergent thinking, and it is this ability to be divergent that puts us at slightly higher risk for mental health problems as compared to others. there are other factors to it also. As part of being slightly divergent in our way of thinking, are filters. So we all have filters in our brain that kind of take away the extraneous things that we're talking. So right now, when I'm talking to you, I am not really focusing on all the 10 things in my surroundings.
Right.
But these filters of people who are creative are not as strong as for others. So often they have a lot of stimulation happening. They're looking, thinking, analyzing, feeling a lot of things in their environment, which most other people are not doing. So their brain is kind of on a little bit of an overdrive as compared to other individuals. Now, this is something inherent to the creative process. But for a lot of artists, and when I say artists, I mean writers, painters, dancers, everything, uh, they're used to being unconventional. And because of that, from the time they're kids, they kind of shut down. They're used to being alone because the way they feel, think is different. The way they express themselves is different. So from the beginning, there's a level of social alienation or isolation that occurs, especially if you haven't been put in places which kind of encourages your difference, right? Doesn't give you an output. And finally, there are other stresses. Like if you really believe in something, it's a beautiful, when you create something, it's part of your soul. And you put it out there, and if it is criticized, and if it is ridiculed, or if it is just dismissed, it kind of feels very personal. So even when you do create something and it's treated so badly, that also hurts. So all of this kind of makes a person who is inherently creative and in the creative field, let's put it this way, relatively more susceptible to mental health issues as compared to a person who is, let's say, a bank accountant and doing a standard 9 to 5 kind of job, with no disrespect meant there.
Sure, of course. So it's true that therefore being creative is sort of makes us a little more susceptible to just just mental issues in general.
Yes,
right?
but another one thing before we go further, I think we should realize susceptibility not equal to problem.
Yes,
right?
Of course. Yes.
For every Dostoevsky or Tolstoy who had a problem, there was also Shakespeare who didn't. Right. So I think let's just make that because I think sometimes it becomes like, okay, if I have susceptibility, that means मुझे ये होने वाला है type thing. और हमें label नहीं करना है किसी को.
Right, absolutely. Right. So therefore, I think it's a great time for us to discuss, the difference between actual depression and creative blocks and, just mood swings.
Right.
I think we're just really prone to mood swings. There's time when you have flow. Right. There's time when you feel very empty. There's time when you need some other stimulus. So how do you differentiate between these?
All right. So the first thing, I think depression has become like, a very colloquial way of saying I'm sad or I'm down in the dumps or my life mein kuch theek nahi hai or I've had a breakup with my girlfriend or boyfriend. So I'm depressed.
Right.
Versus depression as a term being, at least for us, very medical in nature.
Yes.
Sadness is something we've all experienced. I don't think anyone on the planet is lucky enough never have to have felt sad.
How boring too.
Yeah. But whenever we are sad, we still have the potential of being happy. Even if something really terrible happens to you, someone really close to you passes away, you can still sit back and smile and feel happy at the moments you've shared or something fun that has happened.
Right.
But this is different from depression. And when I say depression as a mental illness, would you like me to talk a little bit about the physiology of it? Or
yes, absolutely. In fact, that would have been my next question, but please include this. Yes.
Okay. So I think let's understand first the brain. I know this is sounds a little bit like a biology lecture, and I know people here have not taken biology as voluntarily anywhere in part of their education. No. But I think it's important. The brain is an amazingly complex organ, and it comprises of something, cells called neurons. And these neurons tend to form connections with each other. They form loops and circuits, and these loops and circuits control all our brain processes. Like we have loops and circuits for memory, feelings, emotions, thinking, attention, so on.
Right.
Now, the way the neurons tend to talk to each other is they release certain chemicals. So one will release onto the other. And these chemicals are something we call neurotransmitters. I'm sure a lot of us have heard of dopamine, serotonin.
Yes.
There are others, GABA and norepinephrine. Let's not get into that. And this neurotransmitter fits into a socket box. And then the information goes from one neuron to another. And this is the way normal connections in the brain happen. अब generally emotions and feelings के जो loops होते हैं, they tend to be more heavily dependent on dopamine and serotonin.
Okay.
Right? Now, imagine if a brain loop is being used much more than usual. Right now, those brain areas have to constantly make more neurotransmitters, more slots, constantly to keep that loop functioning adequately.
Right.
And assume if I'm in a an emotionally difficult space, or it's quite stressed, my brain will have to use its emotional loops over time, and its optimum mix of serotonin and dopamine is going to get more and more difficult for the brain to maintain over time, because it's at the end of the day only human, so to speak. Right? And yeah, endless supply possible nahi. And over time, what happens is the amount of neurotransmitter or the amount of the neurochemical starts dipping and falling, and then that loop doesn't function properly. So यहाँ तक ठीक है. If you give the brain a rest at this point of time, you hold back at this point of time, generally it can rejuvenate and get back. So this is your general fatigue, mental fatigue with regards to any process, whether it's memory, creativity, emotional, whatever. So we do experience periods of emotional fatigue, so to speak.
Right.
So that is not depression. At this level, the brain is still able to function. But ये होने के बाद भी अगर continue होता है, the stress continues, and now the brain is literally running on reserve, and it's pulling in neurotransmitters from everywhere else, trying to make that loop function. And then obviously dysfunction begins to creep in, right? And then this dysfunction tends to spread in different areas of the brain. As it spreads to different areas of the brain, more and more loops start dysfunctioning, and then you have a clinical state that is very different from just fatigue or just a low mood that happens. And that's what we call depression.
Right.
One key difference between sadness and depression, like we talked about, is the inability to feel joy or happiness, or that ability is heavily reduced. And that occurs in depression because the loops that are related to our pleasure centers are not doing so well. Right? So to understand depression is different.
Yes.
Creative fatigue, or a writer's block or creative blocks are different, and mood swings and emotional states are different.
Right.
Yes.
So, Doctor, sorry, I just want to interrupt here to ask you a very simple question. So, therefore, for anybody, whether it's a lay person or even this, how will I know that okay, this is depression? Like, what should I feel within? I understand what you're saying is the complete inability to feel joy should be the sign of depression.
Yes, it's very often main thing.
And as you've told me so many times, that the inability to enjoy things that you enjoyed earlier. For example, if you like watching movies, suddenly you don't like it, everything that you enjoy. So is that inability over a period of time, that's when I think I should be depressed?
Yes.
I mean, I am depressed, that's when I should realize that I am
I think as for official criteria, we use a rough estimate of around 2 weeks. And 2 weeks is generally what is used as for. If even if you think about it, even our morning rituals are 12वें-13वें दिन पे करते हैं, because you tend to get over a lot of emotional trauma, at least initial phases, over about a week, 10 days to 2 weeks. But if that emotional state persists, if you're just feeling low throughout the day, not able to enjoy things you used to enjoy earlier, not feel joy, feel exhausted, are sleeping well at night, or getting up 2-3 hours beforehand feeling exhausted through the day, खाना पीना अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, and these are what we call biological symptoms, but there's also the more problematic psychological symptoms of depression. And what happens in this is, as we talked about loop dysfunction, are loops that look at everything negatively tend to get hyperactive. So कुछ भी हो गया, you think of it negatively. I will never be able to do this, I'm a failure, nobody loves me, nobody can trust me, I won't be able to take care of my family. Everything is in the negative extreme, and that kind of slowly kills a person, and that is where the pain of depression really comes in from.
Okay, so that should be a sign. So going back to something you said earlier, doctor, because I remember that's the first thing you told me when I came to you, and that's when I was like, okay, this is it, this is my doctor. So what you explained is that there is a physiology to depression and a psychology to depression. So there is a whole physical part, and there is a whole emotional part.
Right.
And just before you answer, and I will go into that later. I personally found that dealing with the physiology first,
Right.
look at the body part functional first, and then look at the emotional part. It made a lot of difference to me, and it made it much easier for me to deal.
Yes.
So if you could tell us a little about physiology and psychology.
So when we talk about the body, you have to remember that your body, everything is interlinked with each other. So as
Right.
part of the key symptoms of depression, you are going to feel a lot of fatigue, your sleep is going to be messed up, you're not going to be eating well, your sex drive might be really low, you might not feel you might have a lot of body aches and pains, or ye problem hai. Immunity can be really bad as well. So all of these are what we call the physical symptoms of depression, so to speak.
Mhm.
And these are relatively easy to tackle,
Okay.
right? Because if you can just bring in some routine with your eating habits, with your sleeping habits, you start taking immunity supplements, you start working a little bit about yourself, start exercising, a lot of that, if not completely, but can largely resolve. These things are also important largely because the brain is an organ of the body. If you don't take care of your body, you're not taking care of your body. And you can't expect your brain to heal, recover, do well if you're not taking care of your physical health. So that's why we generally, as medical professionals, ask people to prioritize that. Well, this is very important to prioritize that. Largely because the emotional symptoms or psychological symptoms take longer to resolve.
That's right.
They often have roots in our older insecurities, our past traumas, and they kind of come to the fore when we do get depressed. So it isn't that this is only there now. There are these old roots which are difficult to tap into, and they're also difficult to work on. If you're not sleeping well, you're not eating well, then you really can't talk about your negative thoughts, because वैसे ही इतना थका हुआ इंसान cannot talk about it. You'll have more panic attacks. It's going to be more difficult.
Yes. So taking off from here, doctor. So exactly, just taking this forward. So I'll just use my personal example because I think that might be common to a lot of people listening in, and might give them an example. So the day I realized that I thought I was depressed is because I couldn't wake up till 5 in the evening, and I thought, okay, this is really strange, And of course, I'd felt sustained disinterest in a lot of that I was interested in till then. So, and I'll tell you what my question is. So, I still spent at least a whole year in tackling it in many different ways. So, I went to psychologists. I did acupuncture because that helped me with, the medical part of it. I also went to hypnotherapist, as in, clinical hypnotherapist, and it did help me, climb out of at least that hole that one felt in. I had anxiety disorders, and that really lessened to, I would say, about 50% in 1 year. But by the time I said no, I really need to go to a psychiatrist, it was 1 year down the line. So my question to you, and many related to that, my question to you is just classically speaking, should I have come to you right in the beginning? Should one have gone psychiatrist already?
I think we'll just also, I think Anuradha, I think a couple of requests are coming for us to also add a little bit of Hindi in our conversation.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Sure. जो हम बात कर रहे हैं वो पहुंचे. मेरी हिंदी बहुत अच्छी नहीं है, तो I will be a little बम्बैया in my हिंदी.
हम लोग से बम्बैया हो चुके हैं. चलेगा.
तो अभी ये है कि जब हमें दिक्कत आती है किसी भी प्रकार की, जरूरी है कि हम एक प्रकार के प्रोफेशनल के साथ बात करें. ये जरूरी नहीं है कि वो प्रोफेशनल साइकाइट्रिस्ट ही हो, पर वो प्रोफेशनल को एक मेंटल हेल्थ अंडरस्टैंडिंग, एक मानसिक तकलीफ, मानसिक स्वास्थ्य के बारे में एक समझ और उसके प्रति एक सेंसिटिविटी होनी जरूरी है. ये कहना कि सिर्फ मैं एज अ साइकाइट्रिस्ट सब डिसाइड कर सकती हूँ या सबको हेल्प कर सकती हूँ, आई थिंक ये बहुत ही ये बात सही नहीं होगी. तो आई थिंक हमें वी हैव टू स्टार्ट लुकिंग एंड सेइंग कि हाँ, आप एक्यूपंक्चरिस्ट के पास गए, आपने एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट के पास गए, एंड बहुत सारी चीजें उन्होंने हेल्प की है. कोई लोगों का डिप्रेशन इन चीजों के साथ काफी सुधर जाता है, बट कोई लोगों में ये सुधार नहीं आता. इट टेक्स टाइम. क्या कारण होते हैं, कोई और प्रकार के स्ट्रेसेस होते हैं जो नहीं हैंडल हो पा रहे हैं वो लेवल पे, या किसी का अप्रोच अलग होता है। तो जो जरूरी है कि इफ यू आर, अगर आपको लग रहा है कि मैं किसी के पास जा रहा हूँ और मुझे हेल्प हो रही है और मुझे एक हेल्प की डायरेक्शन दिख रही है, कि अगर मुझे लग रहा है कि हर 2 महीने 3 महीने में मेरी इम्प्रूवमेंट बढ़े जा रही है, तो आई थिंक इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट टू कंटिन्यू। बट अगर आपको लग रहा है कि जो इंसान जो जो प्रोफेशनल के साथ मैं बात कर रहा हूँ वो मेरी बात समझ नहीं पा रहा है, या मुझे जिस तरह से मुझे सूट करता है उस तरह से हेल्प नहीं कर पा रहा है, देन प्लीज डू लुक अराउंड। यहाँ पे हम माइंड के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं। एंड वेल अगर हम देखें तो हमारे बॉडी में स्टमक एक ही जगह पे है, आपका स्टमक और मेरा स्टमक में खास फर्क नहीं होगा, बट आपके और मेरे माइंड में बहुत फर्क है। तो हमें एक कंपैटिबिलिटी देखनी जरूरी होती है बिटवीन द प्रोफेशनल एंड द क्लाइंट।
जी, makes sense. So अभी तक, so I'm now taking all of this back to storytelling and trying to making it a little poetic. तो हमारी कहानी में अब तक हमने ये कहा कि हमारा कैरेक्टर राइटर है, उस राइटर को थोड़ी प्रोपेंसिटी है ही थोड़ा सा डिप्रेशन की तरफ या थोड़े से मेंटल इश्यू की तरफ। अब उस राइटर को एक्चुअली पूरा स्पेक्ट्रम हो सकता है, मेंटल फटीग जो अक्सर होता है, और क्रिएटिव ब्लॉक्स या थोड़ी सी उदासीनता से लेकर डिप्रेशन तक हो सकता है उसे। अब डिप्रेशन उसको उस वक्त समझ में आता है अगर उसको 2 हफ्ते तक बिल्कुल ही कोई जॉय ना आए, इंटरेस्ट ना आए और बहुत नेगेटिविटी उसकी हाइटन हो जाए, राइट? उस वक्त उस पर्सन को दैट पर्सन शुड गो एंड कंसल्ट अ प्रोफेशनल। वो प्रोफेशनल चाहे वो साइकोलॉजिस्ट हो या psychiatrist ho, and I just like to clarify this for a lot of people because they really are confused. It's very basic, the difference between psychiatrists and psychologists, so if you can just mention that as well.
Okay, so psychiatrists जो होते हैं उन्होंने अपनी बेसिक डॉक्टर ट्रेनिंग की होती है जो MBBS हम कहते हैं, they are all qualified MBBS specialists. So they have a good understanding आपके बॉडी के बारे में, आपके फिजिकल हेल्थ के बारे में, and they are the people who are licensed to obviously आपको अगर कोई दवा की जरूरत हो तो they are able to write that. While psychologists, so basically all psychiatrists will have a basic level of training, MBBS होगा, उसके बाद they will have a diploma or they will have a degree in psychiatry. Psychologist में इतना simple नहीं होता, बहुत psychology degrees, they can be short counseling degrees of 3 months, they can be PhDs in psychology and counseling and other things. तो बहुत variety होती है, but generally उनका focus on few psychological emotional issues होता है, उनकी ट्रेनिंग भी उस हिसाब से होती है। तो अगर कोई मैरिटल काउंसलिंग या में उनकी ट्रेनिंग होती है, कोई लोगों का ट्रॉमा फोकस ट्रेनिंग होता है, कोई लोगों का कॉग्निटिव बिहेवियर ट्रेनिंग होता है, तो उनकी ट्रेनिंग स्फीयर्स अलग अलग होते हैं, right? But psychologists will not be able to prescribe any or should not be prescribing any medicine.
Correct. So that's what I wanted to clarify कि एक psychiatrist डॉक्टर है जो मेडिसिन दे सकता है, psychologist आपसे बात करता है,
right?
So I'm coming back to my story. हमारी स्टोरी में जो राइटर है वो
हमारी स्टोरी में ट्विस्ट ना हो,
उसको लग रहा है अन्य बहुत सारे आएंगे, कहानी में ट्विस्ट है। तो इस कहानी में अभी तक हम ये कह रहे हैं कि अब 2 हफ्ते हो गए और जैसे कि मैं थी कि अचानक 5 बजे शाम को उठी तो मुझे लगा कि भाई अब मैं वाकई डिप्रेस हूँ। तो मेरे पास 2 ऑप्शन है सामने कि साइकियाट्रिस्ट के पास जाऊँ या साइकोलॉजिस्ट के पास। अब मैं एक और चीज पर्सनल शेयर करना चाहती हूँ, जो बहुत सारे लोग ये फील करते हैं कि शुरू में कोई साइकियाट्रिस्ट के पास नहीं जाना चाहता। In fact, the most educated people, even when I recommend, they say, "Oh no, I'm not going there." Or there's really a freak factor around medication,
right?
No, तो मेरे 2 सवाल हैं। पहला सवाल ये है कि or maybe you've answered it a little bit, कि पहले मैं किस पॉइंट पे समझूं कि मुझे साइकियाट्रिस्ट के पास जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो एक फिजियोलॉजिकल सोल्यूशन है एज अपोज टू सिर्फ इमोशनली बातें करना। ये किस पॉइंट पे मुझे समझ में आए,
आई थिंक,
या कैसे समझ में आए?
जनरली अगर आपके जो हम बायो फंक्शंस कहते हैं, स्लीप, एपेटाइट, सेक्स ड्राइव, एनर्जी, अगर एंड इवन एनेडोनिया टू सम एक्सटेंट, ये जो हम कहते हैं ना कि खुशी की एक क्षमता जो हम में होती है, these are affected, then it is generally better to go to a psychiatrist. Largely because अगर हम बॉडी के हीलिंग के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, तो अगर स्लीप एंड एपेटाइट में इम्प्रूवमेंट नहीं होती है तो बहुत मुश्किल होती है बॉडी के हीलिंग में, राइट? तो दैट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू डू इन जस्ट टॉक थेरेपी.
हाँ.
एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट जो है वो बेसिकली आपका दोस्त नहीं है, वो आपके साथ बैठ के गप्पे मारने के लिए नहीं है. इफ एट ऑल दैट इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, दैट्स नॉट द राइट थिंग दैट्स हैपनिंग,
हाँ.
राइट. इट इज हैज टू बी अ डायरेक्शन. तो अगर हम एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट के पास जाते हैं तो आई वुड फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मैं किसी को साइकोलॉजिस्ट के प्रति रिकमेंड करती हूँ, इट वुड बी कि अगर कोई स्पेसिफिक थॉट बेस्ड इश्यूज है, किसी को फॉर एग्जांपल ट्रस्ट करने में बहुत दिक्कत आती है क्योंकि पास्ट कोई बुरे हादसे हुए हैं या रिलेशनशिप क्राइसिस हुए हैं, तो उस एरिया पे वर्क करने के लिए वी हैव टू टॉक एंड ट्रेन द माइंड टू थिंक डिफरेंटली. तो वहां पे साइकोलॉजिस्ट की जरूरत होती है. बट अगर यही इंसान रात को सो ही नहीं पा रहा है तो वो किस हालत में साइकोलॉजिस्ट के साथ इस विषय पे बात करेगा. सेकेंडली, हाँ, पर और दूसरी बात ये है कि अगर आप साइकाइट्रिस्ट के पास जाते भी है तो बहुत लोगों को ये मन में डर रहता है कि पता नहीं क्या दवा दे देंगे, नींद की दवा दे देंगे, आदत पड़ जाएगी, जिंदगी भर खाते रहेंगे. ये बहुत कॉमन चीजें है जो हम सुनते हैं. जी. पहले तो कोई डॉक्टर आपके सिर पे बंदूक लगा के नहीं कहने वाला कि अब ये गोली खाओ, राइट. अगर आपको पूरा हक है अगर किसी कारण से वो डॉक्टर को लगता है कि आपको दवा की जरूरत है, देन दे विल प्रिस्क्राइब. इट्स लाइक सेइंग आपका शुगर थोड़ा हाई है तो बहुत सारे डायबिटीज के डॉक्टर्स कहेंगे कि भैया आप थोड़ा सा खाने में परहेज करिए, एक्सरसाइज करिए, आपको दवा नहीं देंगे. The same way many psychiatrists say that you require doing this basic things, you don't need medicine. बट अगर किसी कारण से उन्हें लगता है कि आपको दवा की जरूरत है तो और वो दवा प्रिस्क्राइब भी करते हैं तो आपका पूरा हक है. और मैं एनकरेज करूंगी लोगों को सवाल पूछने के बारे में कि मुझे किस प्रकार की दवाइयाँ दी जा रही है, क्यों दी जा रही है, उनके कोई साइड इफेक्ट्स हो सकते हैं, और जो भी आपके मन में प्रश्न है आप प्लीज पूछिएगा. क्योंकि इट इज नॉट अ डिक्टेटरशिप कि मैंने कहा आप दवा खाना है तो आपको खाना ही है, खत्म हो गई बात, राइट.
Yeah, I mean, so basically everybody has a choice, and I mean, exactly, you're not forcing them to have
right.
Prescribing them because physiologically it will help the brain
yes.
and the neurology to improve, right?
Yes. Yes.
So immediately I remember, doctor, you told me right in the beginning कि you know what ठीक है, because I remember being resistant to medication myself, and उसके भी बारे में मैं थोड़ा सा बात करूँगी क्योंकि वो help करेगा. आपने ये कहा था कि it's fine to not be medicated and not do anything, but every episode of depression actually damages the neurology in some way. Right? Yes. So if you can tell us about that.
तो जैसे हम पहले बात कर रहे थे कि ब्रेन के फंक्शनिंग के लिए और ब्रेन के लूप्स के फंक्शनिंग के लिए कुछ न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर्स, कुछ रसायनों की जरूरत होती है जो एक तरह से वो लूप को एक्टिव और फंक्शनल रखते हैं. पर किसी कारण से अगर बार बार वो रसायन नहीं मिले दिमाग वो लूप्स को, तो वो न्यूरॉन्स काम नहीं कर पाते हैं. और अगर वो काम नहीं कर पाते हैं तो एक तरह से वो श्रिंक होने लगते हैं, जो हम कहते हैं एट्रोफी होने लगती है, राइट. मुझे एक सेकंड दीजिए अनुराधा, लेट मी जस्ट सी अगर मैं एक स्क्रीन शेयर कर सकती हूँ. शायद एक पिक्चर होगा मेरे पास जो ये चीज बता सकता है अच्छी तरह से. Just one.
No problem.
I think we have disabled attendee screen sharing. Can we have panelist screen sharing for 1 second? राइट. सो अगर आप ये देख रहे हैं तो बेसिकली ये हम FDG PET कहते हैं इस स्कैन को. तो आप जो येलो एरियाज अगर आप देख रहे हैं वो ब्रेन की नॉर्मल एक्टिविटी की होती है. तो जब डिप्रेशन होता है तो ये येलो एक्टिव एरियाज आप देख रहे हैं काफी कम हो चुके हैं. तो दैट इंडिकेट्स दैट द ब्रेन इज नॉट फंक्शनिंग प्रॉपर्ली. अगर एक ये दूसरा एग्जांपल अगर हम देखते हैं तो सेम थिंग कि जो रेड एरियाज यहाँ पर है दे आर गुड फंक्शनिंग एरियाज एंड ग्रीन एरियाज आर द नॉन फंक्शनिंग. तो ये नॉर्मल पेशेंट के कंपैरिजन में यहाँ पे लाल एरियाज कम आ रहे हैं. तो अभी जब हम ये कर रहे हैं बेसिकली द रीजन आई एम सेइंग इज क्योंकि ये एरियाज अगर काम नहीं करेंगे तो कोई भी शरीर का भाग अगर आप इस्तेमाल नहीं करोगे या काम नहीं करेगा तो एक तरह से उधर दिक्कत आने लगेगी. तो हर बार जब ये होता है और जितने टाइम तक ये चलता है तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो एरिया ब्रेन के एरिया श्रिंक होने लगते हैं. और ब्रेन ऐसा ऑर्गन है जो बहुत जल्दी पिकअप नहीं कर पाता. एक बार श्रिंकेज हो जाता है, एक बार डैमेज हो जाता है. तो जितने बार एक इंसान को डिप्रेशन होती है उसका ब्रेन डैमेज कंटिन्यू होता है. एंड इसके साथ साथ एक अगला एपिसोड आने की संभावना भी बढ़ती है, क्योंकि ब्रेन की कैपेसिटी कम हुए जा रही है
कम
ना
हो
हर
रही
बार
जाए।
जब ये हो रहा है,
जी
राइट। तो इसीलिए जनरली जब ये रिकरेंट प्रॉब्लम होती है तब हम ज्यादा पुश करते हैं कि अब आपको ये मामले को थोड़ा सा सीरियसली लेना है, क्योंकि एक तो आपको सफर करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है,
हाँ
राइट।
mainly,
आपको कोई अवार्ड नहीं मिल रहा है कि आपके 50 डिप्रेशन एपिसोड हो गए, आपने दवा नहीं ली, आपने इलाज नहीं लिया,
हाँ,
राइट।
there's some bravado around this, I feel. Like, you know,
यस,
people feel very heroic कि मैंने दवा नहीं ली और, you know, but मैं
राइट,
depressed. So,
राइट।
yeah. So,
So,
please continue.
so that is where I'm saying that, you know, you don't need to suffer. Your family doesn't need to suffer, because it's not you. When you are like this, everyone around you suffers. The work suffers. And
Yeah.
plus, it's not that. So there was a time when medications used to be, you know, there was about 30-40 years ago side effects बहुत होते थे, नींद बहुत आती थी, काम नहीं कर पाते थे, you know, all of these things होते थे
Yes.
एक वक्त में, पर
Yes.
अब नहीं है।
हाँ.
बहुत सारी चीजें बदल चुकी है, तो हमारा एक रेकमेंडेशन है, आप जाके बात कराइए आपके डॉक्टर से, right? Get an understanding, see how you can help yourself and move forward there.
Yeah, I think the central point is how do you help yourself, you know, and I think that's the point that doesn't reach people very often, especially when you're in a zone like
Yeah.
that. Now, let me ask you a professional trick, doctor, or a situation I'm sure you're in very often. आपको सामने कोई पेशेंट बैठा हुआ है, आपको मालूम है कि उसको दवाई की जरूरत है और उससे बहुत फायदा होगा, बट आप जानते हैं कि वो अभी बहुत वेरी है, नहीं लेने वाला है. How do you convince that person? जो आपको मालूम है कि इसको चाहिए ही चाहिए, तो वो आप कैसे
आई
करते
थिंक एक बात है कि हमें रिस्पेक्ट करना चाहिए कि अगर किसी को दवा नहीं चाहते हैं, बट आई थिंक व्हाट वी ट्राई टू डू इज बिल्ड अप अ कोलैबोरेटिव थिंग, से दैट ओके, हम अगर आप नहीं लेना चाहते हैं तो हम दूसरे तरीके अभी हम अपना सकते हैं, जो काउंसलिंग हो या कुछ और हो, जो हम अब लेट अस से हम 2 वीक्स या 3 वीक्स का एक यू नो बेंचमार्क रखेंगे कि अगर तब तक आपके लक्षणों में सुधार नहीं आता है तो हम ऑप्शंस कंसिडर कर सकते हैं, राइट। और उस 2-3 वीक्स में हम कुछ रेड फ्लैग्स भी रखेंगे कि मान लो अगर आपकी उदासी इतनी बढ़ रही है कि आपको लग रहा है कि अब जीने का कोई मतलब नहीं रहा, या
You
सुसाइड
get
या ऐसे
suicidal maybe, हाँ.
एग्जैक्टली ऐसे विचार आ रहे हैं, देन ये ट्रायल पीरियड खत्म होता है, राइट। बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली हम ये
बढ़ने
बढ़ने
नहीं
दे नहीं
सकते.
सकते हैं। दूसरी बात ये होती है कि ऐसे नहीं कि आज दवा ली और कल मुझे अच्छा लगने लगा,
Correct, हाँ.
उसका एक टाइम पीरियड होता है उसके इफेक्ट आने के लिए, राइट। तो अगर आज मैं डिसाइड करती हूँ मैं दवा लेना चाहती हूँ या मैं दवा लेने को तैयार हूँ, तो मैं इफेक्ट और इम्प्रूवमेंट 2 हफ्ते बाद देखूंगी। तो यू शुड, दैट इज अनदर थिंग दैट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल डू, यू नो, दवा लिया 2 दिन अच्छा नहीं लगा, देन जैसे कि मुझे दवा काम नहीं करती, मुझ पे सूट नहीं होती, कोई मतलब नहीं है, एंड दे लेट इट गो। तो एक टाइमलाइन भी होता है इन चीजों में सुधार आने के लिए।
Correct. That totally answers it. So, last question in this direction, doctor. So, just so that we illustrate some other dimension. So, मेरे केस में I had taken your suggestion और मैंने medication लिया था 10 दिन के लिए. And I remember आपने बहुत mild dose दिया था, लेकिन मुझे जो 2 चीजें हुई उस समय, उस particular वक्त, I guess that part of my depression was कि बाकी सब you know, the sadness had gone away, not sadness, the lack of joy had gone away, but brain fog तब तक था. और फिर 10 दिन जब मैंने मेडिकेशन ली तो मुझे कुछ एंजाइटी थोड़ी बढ़ गई, एंड इट फेल्ट लाइक अ लिटिल आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल. तो मैंने आपको कहा कि यू नो आई एम नॉट वेरी कंफर्टेबल. तो आपने बहुत अच्छी चीज की, आपने कहा कि कई बार गाड़ी को थोड़ा सा धक्का दे दो तो चल जाती है गाड़ी, एंड यू नो यू डोंट रियली नीड दैट. And totally my brain fog completely cleared, and while I was very prolifically writing even then, even in that span, thank God, you know, but I did feel that it cleared up, and you know, things became better. But I have a double question in here. One is this gadi ka dhakka, but I do feel, you know, because I've been going through this journey, and I've been consulting with you for 3 years now, and I feel like you know, I used to feel like I'm not all there, and this feeling that I'm back and there has still taken me 3 years.
Yeah.
So my question is, you know, one is the gadi ka dhakka, and would medication or continued medication then may have given a faster recovery of coming back to myself?
आई थिंक जो अनुराधा आप बात कर रहे हैं, जो एक हमें बैलेंस करना है इफेक्ट एंड साइड इफेक्ट के बेस में. कोई लोगों की बॉडी की सेंस, जैसे आपने बात की है कि आपको यू नो साइड इफेक्ट एक प्रकार की थोड़ी जल्दी आती है. कुछ लोगों को बहुत हाई डोज भी दो तो उन्हें कोई साइड इफेक्ट नहीं आता. तो एक हमारी शरीर की सेंसिटिविटी अलग होती है. तो अगर किसी को एक तरह से इफेक्ट आता है तो किसी और को वैसा ही इफेक्ट आए, जरूरी नहीं होता, राइट? हाँ, वेरी ऑफन हम देखते हैं कि ये जो एक सोच होती है कि दवाइयाँ शुरू हो गई तो बहुत लंबे टाइम तक जरूरी होती है, नेसेसरी नहीं है। करंट बहुत सारे लोगों में हम देखते हैं कि अगर हम मेडिसिन शुरू करते हैं, पर उसके साथ साथ आई थिंक जो आप में फर्क है, आपने एक तरह से अपनी तकलीफ को अपनाया है एंड उस पे वर्क करने की एक एक
कमिटमेंट
ड्राइव दिखाई है, यस, कमिटमेंट दिखाई है आपने, एंड दैट आई थिंक इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। जो एक लिंक है इस जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, एक फेसबुक से एक सवाल जो आया है अभी कि बहुत लोग डिनायल में होते हैं क्योंकि कहीं ना ये एक मेंटल स्ट्रेंथ की बात हो गई है कि जो लोगों को डिप्रेशन या ऐसी दिक्कतें हैं वो कमजोर है मानसिक तौर पे, या दे आर नॉट स्ट्रॉन्ग पीपल और उनमें कोई प्रॉब्लम है, वैसी बात नहीं है। आप इस तरह से सोचिए कि अगर आप एक माउंटेनियर हो, आपने मान लो एवरेस्ट भी क्लाइंब किया हो, बट सीधे रास्ते चलते हुए भी आपको पैर में क्रैम्प आ सकता है ना, ताकत की बात ही नहीं आती इस कहानी में। एक्चुअल स्ट्रेंथ जो होता है अपनी तकलीफ, अपनी कमी समझने की, अपनाने की और उस पे वर्क करने में, वो एक्चुअल स्ट्रेंथ होती है।
That's very well said, yeah.
And that is where people don't like to accept that they have a problem because they think this is equal to their mental state, and nobody likes to think of themselves as weak, right? So I think that is why people deny it. And second thing, people tend to think of it as saying कि हाँ ये ठीक हो जाएगा, अब मेरे ना बॉस मुझे परेशान कर रहा है इसीलिए मुझे तकलीफ है, अब मेरे झगड़ा हो रहा है मेरे फ्रेंड के साथ इसीलिए मुझे तकलीफ है। बट ये जो उदासी, डिप्रेशन या तकलीफ है, इट इज मच बियॉन्ड जस्ट अ स्मॉल आर्गुमेंट, राइट? So I think it is important to be honest with yourself. Seeking help is never a sign of weakness. It has never been. हम जब से जन्म होता है हमारा, हमें अपने चलने में भी हेल्प की जरूरत होती है. So it doesn't mean that we are not going to need help. We are always going to need help, and big deal. That's why we are all there for each other.
Right. So, I mean, wouldn't it be also because of societal pressure, doctor? So, for example, एक बहुत ही common चीज़ है जो obviously आप भी सुनते ही होंगे कि किसी को भी मैं जब जैसे recommend करूँ, why don't you see a shrink or take help? मैं पागल थोड़े हूँ. So, my answer is कि नहीं, वो आप पागल हो जाओगे तो बहुत difficult होगा. The shrink will help you not go पागल.
Yes,
you can elaborate.
You are right, because in a way, because as mental health disorders get worse, symptomatology gets worse, it gets, your symptoms get more severe, it is more difficult to get you back. Which is true for any illness. अगर मेरी अस्थमा या दमा की प्रॉब्लम है अगर बहुत बढ़ गई है तो दिक्कत होती है ना, टाइम लगता है उसे नॉर्मल होने के लिए. तो ये कहानी चाहे वो दमा के बारे में हो, चाहे अपने पेट की कोई तकलीफ के बारे में हो, चाहे आपके दिमाग के बारे में हो, द थ्योरी इज सेम. बट अर्लियर ये सोच कि मानसिक तकलीफ इक्वल टू पागलपन is a very outdated thought process, right? And to some extent it has also been linked because of way psychiatrists and mental health problems have been depicted in the media as well.
Yes, that's true. We're guilty of that.
And while I understand that a lot of the things we see in media is वो बढ़ा चढ़ा के थोड़ा उसको ड्रामा वाले वो करके करना होता है, but that kind of picture has stayed, and now definitely things are changing. The media is beginning to portray the different side of the story, but वो एक older concept आ गया है सोसाइटी में. And दूसरी बात जो होती है कि हमें मानो तो सबको दिखता है, जब हमें डिप्रेशन, मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज है तो वो जब तक हम दिखाते नहीं है लोगों को तब तक पता नहीं होता. इसलिए हम एक मास्क डिप्रेशन करके भी कहते हैं कि आपने जैसे एक मास्क या एक नकाब पहना है नॉर्मल सी का, पर अंदरूनी आपको दिक्कत बहुत चल रही है. और इसीलिए लोग बहुत जजमेंटल हो जाते हैं जब आप कहते हैं कि मुझे शायद मैं किसी साइकाइट्रिस्ट या काउंसलर के पास जाऊंगा, क्योंकि लाइक आप तो बिल्कुल ठीक हो, आपको क्या प्रॉब्लम है, आपकी लाइफ तो इतनी अच्छी है, वो देखो वो बेचारा. तो वो एक तरीके की एक नेगेटिव स्टिग्मा होती है कि दिखाना कि मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम है, राइट? तो एक तरह से एक सोच के मेंटल हेल्थ इक्वल टू पागल और नॉन पागल इज very
dated. Yes, that's right. But I just thought it's important to talk about it. Acha, I'm just taking a question that somebody had sent us earlier, and I thought it's an interesting question because it's a bit of a fad around as well. Does meditation help come out of depression? What's your take on it? Meditation.
So there are different types of meditations that are really there. So it's not about which type of meditation is right and which type of meditation is wrong. The the only time we say you should not meditate is when a person's symptoms are reaching to a severe level. Largely because जैसे हमने बात की कि ये एक तरह से हम ऑलरेडी आपका ब्रेन स्ट्रेस में चल रहा है, वैसे ही रिजर्व पे गाड़ी चल रही है, इट्स ट्राइंग टू डू एवरीथिंग, और बहुत सारे मेडिटेटिव प्रैक्टिसेस में हमें अपने सोच विचार एक पॉइंट पे केंद्रित करने होते हैं, जो बहुत कठिन होता है. इवन अंडर नॉर्मल सर्कमस्टेंसेस, इफ आई एम आस्क्ड टू थिंक ओनली ऑफ वन थिंग, इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी यू टू डू. तो वैसे ही स्ट्रेस चल रहा है ब्रेन में, वैसे ही वो बेचारा धक्के से चल रहा है, और आप उसे और प्रेशराइज करोगे तो जनरली द स्टोरी डज नॉट एंड वेल. माइल्ड सिम्टम्स में इट डज हेल्प, but will it help, will it hurt? I think I would suggest at least a discussion with a professional. Here again, there are a lot of yoga teachers who teach meditation. There are a lot of people, and the good people will tell the person on the face कि भाई आपकी दिक्कत ज़्यादा है, आप पहले help लीजिए, ये अब ना करिए, right? And there the good people do that. So we get references from people who are doing very other, the alternative spiritual healing modalities also. Okay, this is not something that's going to help them right now. We achieve a certain level, and then you can always go back to it.
Right. So therefore, actually, the answer really is that don't just start meditating, because you think it might get you out. In fact, it might drive you, lower into the zone. Yeah? Okay, that's thank you for that answer. I would actually, before I move to the next section, I would like to ask Debashish if there are any audience questions that you want to take up right now in this section.
Yes, actually, I have forwarded a few questions to Dr. Kate.
Okay.
And they will be in your private messages. And I'm also going through the Q&A to see if there's something which hasn't been answered yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because, just to let you know, in section, yes.
Yeah, sorry,
please carry on. No, carry on. Yeah.
No. So one question I think that that we have not answered is, does depression give rise to creativity, or does creativity give rise to depressive thoughts?
Okay.
Right? A very interesting question, because it is again a chicken and egg question. हमें ये याद रखना है कि जब किसी को डिप्रेशन, उदासी, ये सारे फीलिंग्स जो इमोशनल डेप्थ के रिलेटेड है, they do give us insights into people's lives in the way another person can feel. And बहुत सारे आर्टिस्ट हमने देखा है, जब उनके सिम्टम्स माइल्ड रेंज में होते हैं, तब वो अपने इमोशनल पेन को एक तरह से चैनल करके यूज कर सकते हैं टू गिव मे बी देयर क्रिएटिविटी अ बेटर, मोर ऑफ अ सोल, जो हम कहते हैं. बट अगर ये कहानी हमारे कंट्रोल में होती तो इट वुड बी परफेक्ट, बट इट इज नॉट. ये कम माइल्ड से मॉडरेट सिवियरिटी, मॉडरेट से सिवियर सिवियरिटी पे जाने वाली है, आपका ना हमारा कंट्रोल रहता है. ये जरूरी नहीं है. और आई थिंक हमने शुरुआत में ये बात की थी कि जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको डिप्रेशन या मेंटल हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम या एंजाइटी या साइकोसिस या ऐसी मेनिया होना चाहिए टू अंडरस्टैंड ह्यूमन इमोशंस. उस तरह से देखा जाए तो unless I have a mental health problem, I should not be able to understand the patient by that definition. Right? Also, we have so many artists who have not had ever at least a history of any evidence of any behavior of mental health problems, and they are wonderful in conveying human emotions, in conveying uniqueness of thought, in conveying new ideas. So ये एक तरह से एक depressed mad artist का भी एक stereotype बन गया है.
Romanticizing depression.
Romanticized in its own way. Yeah, I would just like to add कि जो ये सारे जो issues होते हैं, the past trauma हुआ है आपके life में, these are not unique to artists. But these stories are not talked about because let's talk about that bank accountant ago. उसके life के trauma वो किसी को बता नहीं रहा है, उसकी कहानी नहीं बन रही, उसकी film नहीं बन रही, उसका किताब नहीं बन रहा है, right? It is coming out through the artist because that's his medium or her medium of expression, right? So that is why the stereotype has formed. Again, the stereotype of psychiatrist pagal bhi hote hai, it takes one to know one kind of thing.
Yeah.
That is again another common thing, and I am hoping, fingers crossed, that I am doing relatively okay on the mental health balance.
Right? Yeah, I hope so. We are two of us here right now.
So that is important. It is, yes, creativity is associated and it does give some fuel, but it is not something that you can always put it in terms of black and white and all of this.
Right. So, doctor, before you, you want to take another question because I'll
Yeah.
just join this to my next point.
Yeah.
Drop
So I
it.
think there is another question which is related to this. All right. So there is something about, can depression be hereditary, and what does the family and other people do?
Yes, very important. Yeah.
Just like blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, cholesterol issues are hereditary, so is depression. Which means that there is a greater chance of having it if someone in your family has had it. 100% no, greater chance, right? एंड देयरफॉर यू हैव, अगर आपके परिवार में किसी को कोई भी प्रकार की मानसिक परेशानी है तो आपको होने की संभावना बढ़ जाती है, और ये इंफॉर्मेशन जरूरी है, क्योंकि अगर आपको कुछ लक्षण दिख रहे हैं अपने आप में, या आपके दोस्त या शुभचिंतक आपको आगे बता रहे हैं कि हाँ शायद कोई दिक्कत हो सकती है, तो एक बार एक प्रोफेशनल ओपिनियन लेने में कोई नुकसान नहीं है. दूसरी बात, फैमिली इज एंड सराउंडिंग्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बट इंडियन कंटेक्स्ट में हमें देखा है कि हमें ऑफन फैमिली को एडुकेट करने की जरूरत होती है कि आप एक पर्सन को सपोर्ट कैसे कर सकते हैं. जनरली हमारा जो एक तरीका होता है कि थिंक पॉजिटिव. अगर किसी को थिंक नेगेटिव करने की कोई इच्छा नहीं होती, किसी को डिप्रेशन में सफर करने की कोई इच्छा नहीं होती, अगर उसकी कैपेसिटी होती थिंक पॉजिटिव के लिए तो वो थिंक पॉजिटिव करता. वो नहीं कर पा रहा है, इसका आपके कहने से वो थिंक पॉजिटिव नहीं होने वाला. तो फैमिलीज को हमें सिखाना पड़ता है, बताना पड़ता है कि आप एक पर्सन को किस तरह से सपोर्ट कर पाते हैं. ये बट एंड अनदर थिंग आई वुड से कि बहुत सारे लोग सोचते हैं कि हमारे पेरेंट्स शायद पुराने जमाने के हैं, हमारे पेरेंट्स की लिटरेसी अलग है, वो समझ नहीं पाएंगे. हमने देखा है कि इलिटरेट गांव के पेरेंट्स भी समझ जाते हैं, और हाईली लिटरेट सिटी फैमिली इज आल्सो समटाइम्स कंप्लीटली अनसपोर्टेड. तो इट इज नॉट वन साइज फिट्स ऑल. It's also important to realize, I think this is something that I do tell patients and my clients, is that see, before you got depressed, did you really understand how this felt? And generally the answer is no, right? How emotionally difficult it is, how isolating it is, how how frustrating it is also, is something that people don't understand until they experience it themselves. So asking someone to, even by when you talk to them, for them to magically understand it is going to be difficult. It's going to take time, right? But you have to keep the dialogue open and we encourage them to tell कि आप हमें लेके, हमारे पास लेके आओ, हम उन्हें समझाएंगे. शायद जिस तरह से आप समझाते हैं, या वो होता ना, बच्चे ने कहा कि मुझे ये दिक्कत है, या हस्बैंड या वाइफ ने कहा, तो देयर इज अ डिसमिसिंग टेंडेंसी, पर एक प्रोफेशनल ने वही बात समझाई तो लोग सुनते हैं, right? So that is the difference. So we often encourage people to come and talk to the professional, have a conversation with the professional, and ये एक continuous dialogue है. ये भी हम बहुत बार देखते हैं कि 2 दिन मिले, आके 2 दिन ठीक है, उसके बाद वापस पुरानी स्टोरी चालू हो गई. बट ये तो हर ह्यूमन बिहेवियर की बात होती है ना, ये तो सिर्फ डिप्रेशन के बारे में फैमिलीज की बात नहीं है. तो वी नीड टू कीप दिस डायलॉग कंटिन्यूस. I think there is also a question, I think, on neuroplasticity. I think neuroplasticity is basically the brain's ability to adjust itself and change itself over time. ये आई थिंक ये सवाल का प्रश्न थोड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स है when it comes to depression, because जो हमने बात नहीं की है, बहुत सारे अदर लेवल BDNF, बहुत सारे हायर लेवल चीजें होती है न्यूरोकेमिकल फ्रंट which affect neuroplasticity of the brain and depression, but I think that will be a little too complex for the general audience we have today.
And I also think that that's a slightly more advanced discussion on this, right?
Yeah.
But Doctor, I think it's a good time for us to just discuss, like we were talking earlier, the different kind of disorders, like not just depression, but like you said, bipolar or manic depressive, or if you can just tell us a little about that.
So other thing, so let's just understand that mental health disorders are not like एक दो चीजें होती है, बहुत अलग प्रकार होती है. And closest related, I would say, to depression would be 2 things: anxiety disorders and bipolar disorder. So anxiety disorders is जब आपके मन में चिंता, घबराहट, rumination, सोच एक लेवल से ज्यादा हद तक बढ़ जाए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, दिन भर एक ही प्रकार की नेगेटिव सोच, एक चिंता, और एक एंजाइटी के शारीरिक लक्षण जैसे पेट में होल होना, घबराहट महसूस करना, दिल की धड़कन बढ़ जानी, सांस लेने में दिक्कत होना, गले में एकदम ऐसे जैसे बंद हो गया है, सांस नहीं ले पा रहे, ऐसे लगना, घबराहट होनी, हाथ पैर कांपने, ये सारे चलते रहे बिना कोई कारण से, तो हमें इसे एंजाइटी डिसऑर्डर्स या जो बहुत लोग पैनिक अटैक कहते हैं, ये सारे होते हैं, राइट। तो ये डिप्रेशन से जुड़ा हुआ है, पर इसमें जो भावना होती है वो उदासी की नहीं, वो घबराहट, चिंता, एंजाइटी की होती है, राइट।
More advanced in a way.
एडवांस आई वुड से डिफरेंट। सो
Okay.
अगर हम सिवियरिटी देखते हैं तो जनरली हम डिप्रेशन को हायर इन टर्म्स ऑफ हायरार्की ज्यादा ऊपर रखेंगे, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली
anxiety would be low.
risk of suicide and other things are much higher when it comes to depression as compared to others.
Right.
बाइपोलर डिसऑर्डर जो होता है जिसमें डिप्रेशन एक भाग होता है, पर उसका एक कंप्लीट ऑपोजिट, जिसे हम मेनिया कहते हैं, ये प्रकार के लक्षण भी देखे जाते हैं। तो जब हम मेनिया कहते हैं, लाइक आई सेड, ऑपोजिट ऑफ डिप्रेशन, बहुत ज्यादा मन बिना बात के प्रसन्न होना या खुश होना, कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत ज्यादा होनी बिना कारण, थकान बिल्कुल ही नहीं लगनी, 2 घंटे भी सोए रात को तो फिर भी फुल ताकत है, मन में बहुत सारी पॉजिटिव सोच है, बहुत सारा प्लानिंग है, बहुत सारा उत्साह है, ये सारी चीजें, और खुद के बारे में बहुत बड़ा सोचना कि मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ, मैं प्रधानमंत्री बन सकता हूँ, मैं कोरोना का इलाज कर पाऊंगा आज की दुनिया में, तो ग्रैंडियोसिटी, राइट। तो ये सारे लक्षण जो होते हैं ये मेनिया में होते हैं, और ये लक्षण जब, एंड लाइक हमने कहा, डिप्रेशन के लिए एक शॉर्ट टाइम पीरियड अबाउट 2 वीक्स होता है, मेनिया के लिए द टाइम पीरियड वी कंसिडर इवन शॉर्टर, because that is approximately depending on the severity between 4 days to 1 week. इसके लिए शॉर्ट क्यों है? क्योंकि there are no, डिप्रेशन के लिए लॉन्गर क्यों है? क्योंकि जनरली सैडनेस इज अ वेरी कॉमन पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ, वर्सेस दिस ओवर एक्साइटमेंट इज नॉट नॉर्मली से, राइट। अगर आपने आपके गर्लफ्रेंड को अपने प्रपोज किया है और मैं हाँ कहा है, आप बहुत खुश हो, पर वो 1-2 दिन रहेगा, और उसमें आप ग्रैंडियोसिटी नहीं लाओगे कि आपने कोरोना के लिए आज वैक्सीन बना दोगे और आप प्रधानमंत्री बन जाओगे। सो दिस इज नॉट इन द नॉर्मल स्पेक्ट्रम, सो टू स्पीक। इसलिए हम टाइम पीरियड थोड़ा सा शॉर्ट रखते हैं, राइट। दूसरी चीज जो बहुत कॉमन होती है, एंड आई थिंक दिस इज इम्पोर्टेंट, आई थिंक आई मिस टॉकिंग अबाउट इट, इज ड्रग यूज, जो आर्टिस्ट एंड रिलेटेड में काफी कॉमन है, and that is because there is this belief that drug use can help us become more creative, and at some level sometimes there is some association that we see that there is more, जो हम कहते हैं ना, divergent thinking, out of the box thinking sometimes can happen with some of their drugs use, बट जो कन्वर्जेंट थिंकिंग होती है जिससे हमारा आउटपुट बढ़ता है, वो जनरली इतना अच्छा नहीं होता। आप, आई एम श्योर हम सब ने देखा होगा, जब आपके कोई दोस्त ने थोड़ी सी ज्यादा पी ली है या थोड़ा सा ज्यादा स्मोकअप किया है और वो कुछ चीजें बोल रहे हैं जो आपको लगता है रियलिटी में प्रैक्टिकल नहीं है, पर उस इंसान को उस स्थिति में लगता है कि हाँ, दिस इज ऑल डूएबल एंड दिस इज द बेस्ट आइडिया इन द वर्ल्ड, राइट। एंड ओवर टाइम अगर हम अपने इमेजिनेशन को ड्रग यूज पे डिपेंडेंट बनाते हैं, देन इट बिकम्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर द ब्रेन टू फंक्शन विदाउट, राइट। तो आप एक तरह से उस ड्रग्स के आदी हो जाते हैं फॉर योर ब्रेन फंक्शनिंग, एंड दैट अगेन पुशेस द ब्रेन इनटू डिफरेंट मेंटल हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम्स, be it depression, bipolar disorder and other things. We are not talking so much about schizophrenia right now because I think that's a very different type of disorder in this whole thing.
We're talking about what people may be normally susceptible to. Right?
Yes. So these are something we call common mental health problems.
Right. Okay. And would borderline personality also?
Yeah. So there are. So this is one thing. The other two things that we see are something called ADHD or adult ADHD. जो ADHD हम कहते हैं, जो एक अटेंशन डेफिसिट हाइपर एक्टिविटी डिसऑर्डर होता है, जो बच्चों में देखते हैं, पर उसके कभी जो लक्षण होते हैं अडल्टहुड में कंटिन्यू करते हैं। तो कुछ लोग होते हैं जो इनहेरेंटली थोड़े से चंचल होते हैं, उनका माइंड भी चंचल होता है, उनका शरीर भी चंचल होता है, राइट। ये एक टाइप ऑफ इशू होता है। मैं इसे प्रॉब्लम नहीं कहूंगी यार, एक डिसऑर्डर नहीं कहूंगी। काफी लोगों में वो एक टेंडेंसी होती है, बट जब वो टेंडेंसी अंडर प्रेशर आती है तब ये दिक्कत बन जा सकती है। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल, आप अगर डेडलाइन के साथ वर्क कर रहे हो पर आपका मन बहुत चंचल है, तो इट इज डिफिकल्ट टू मीट दैट डेडलाइन बिकॉज़ यू,
but that's a writer, that's a normal writer.
No, but then so there is a difference between that being a state only when it comes to a little bit of procrastination, because ideas, so creativity may be a time period of reflection, introspection and all hota hai, and then there is last minute panic fueled writing, which is the case for everything including doctors, let us be honest. Okay. But this is a tendency that happens everywhere. You know, in all your relationships, in all the people, if it's always कि आप बहुत चंचल है and it's causing a problem, then we talk about it and see if there's
अच्छा.
something needs to be
हम्म.
उससे जुड़ा हुआ एक होता है जो कहते हैं बॉर्डरलाइन
जी.
पर्सनालिटी
जी.
डिसऑर्डर. एंड ये एक चीज होती है जब आपके इमोशंस, आपकी सोच एक्सट्रीम्स में चलती है,
अच्छा.
राइट? तो कोई भी जो जो हम ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट थिंकिंग जो कहते हैं, समथिंग इज द बेस्ट थिंग इन द वर्ल्ड और कुछ कोई बुरी बात होगी तो इज द वर्स्ट थिंग इन द वर्ल्ड. आई लव हर, आई हेट हर, एक ऑसिलेशन इन एक्सट्रीम्स. आई एम वेरी हैप्पी, आई एम टेरिबली सैड. Extremes. This is something which is very commonly called and many
Body.
other aspects. Obviously, this is not a diagnostic thing, but I'm just giving an idea. This is part of what we call borderline personality. And it has, so all of these have their own associated linkages to potential mental health concerns ahead. Borderline is difficult to understand from bipolar disorder because borderline में mood swings बहुत frequent होंगे versus bipolar जैसे हमने कह रहे हैं ना कि depression 2 हफ्ते तक, mania 4 दिन 1 हफ्ते तक, it's different.
Okay, so doctor, actually I really want to just stay on this a little bit because what you just described, and you know, especially borderline, that really honestly sounds like a normal writer's life. Because no, seriously, so I don't mean it in either in you know, just a romanticized or even a funny way, because what happens is that so allow me to just, you know, for a minute just describe you know, how it is from inside.
Right.
You know, it may be obvious that I'm just, you know, underlining it. You know, unlike most other artists, actually I would say all other artists, you know, where a painter, for example, has color to play with. मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा, मैंने थोड़े से कलर्स देखे, शायद कुछ आ गया. यू नो, डांस में मुद्रा है, म्यूजिक में नोट्स हैं प्ले अराउंड करने के लिए. यू नो, डायरेक्टर जाके एक कैमरा लेके शूट कर सकता है. राइटर, आई फील, इज द ओनली आर्टिस्ट जिसके पास कुछ नहीं है शुरू करने के लिए. यू नो, यू रियली आर अ ब्लैंक page literally, and you can't just put 5 words out there and imagine them to become a story, right? So what you just said is that it's a very I would say a very difficult and of course a blessed process in which there is an emotion that has to become a thought order. I have to feel it and also have an output. Okay. And all the other, you know, topics that I want to discuss immediately after this. In all of this, I have to have an objectivity about it. I have to have a deadline. I have to brace the uncertainty. I know there'll be judgment on it. You know, I will spend 2 weeks of procrastination and maybe write for 3 nights, you know, all of this. So this is really a normal writer's life. So, you know, this sounds like we're all borderline, you know, by some degree. So my question later is going to be, how do we handle this? But please, if you can talk.
No, so I think what here is important is that we have, when we talk about the personality disorder, let's call it a disorder, is when there is dysfunction associated with it, right? अब अगर आप, because you are talking about this, I'm taking a little bit of an extreme example. Most of your movie stars would under normal life be considered to be histrionic or narcissistic, right? But when they are in their element, it works. Right? The same way when it comes to a writing or a creative process, as long as it stays, you know, in that element and it works and doesn't cause any dysfunction or distress, we are not interested in labeling it. Right? For most mental health disorders, these are 2 tenets we have to go by, is distress or dysfunction.
Okay. That's
yeah,
really
so we don't want to say कि यार आप ऐसे होना तो आपको ये हो गया ना. इस इंसान को इस तरीके से कोई तकलीफ नहीं है, उसके लाइफ में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आ रही, उस वजह से किसी और को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आ रही, तो ठीक है, इट्स नो बिग डील, राइट? गुड, वी आर ऑल यूनिक पीपल, वी नीड सम स्पाइस इन लाइफ.
Okay. So as long as there's no distress or well, like you said, no dysfunction, we are good being the mad people that we are. Okay. Okay. Any other question you want to take up before I move to the next section?
I think there are questions a little bit about criticism and others, and I think we can.
We'll get to that then. Yeah. Okay. So then immediately moving to the next section. I mean, I've just broken it into sections so that we know what kind of topics we're talking. So far हमारी कहानी में हम वापस जाते हैं. तो हमारा Act 1 in a sense खत्म हुआ कि हमने एक सेटअप बना लिया, हम समझ गए कि भाई ये आपको हो सकता है, और अगर किसी को हुआ डिप्रेशन तो वो आपके पास आए, उन्होंने थोड़ी मेडिकेशन भी ले ली, थोड़ी गाड़ी को धक्का भी लग गया, और अब वो, you know, they're back little on balance. I know a lot like whatever I've discussed with you, and I'm sure so many other people do. I want to pick up a few topics which I would like to talk about them, and tools to handle those generic or common thoughts. So right up front, like I mentioned कि क्योंकि एक writer की life ऐसी ही है और आप एक blank slate से चल रहे हो. I think our topmost no particular order, but I think our topmost concern is always uncertainty.
Right.
So I'll tell you the level of uncertainty is at all levels. When I wake up, I don't know आज मैं बहुत अच्छा लिखूंगी कि नहीं लिखूंगी. That's one. इसके बाद ये बनेगा कि नहीं बनेगा. That's two. वो पैसे आएंगे कि नहीं आएंगे. That's three, etc. So it's uncertain at every step of the way. So how do you deal with uncertainty? Since that's what you signed up for.
Yeah, so I think uncertainty can makes everyone uncomfortable, right? It isn't something that is unique to a writer or unique to an artist or unique to anyone. Nobody likes it. Everyone likes to have some basic order. Novelty अच्छा है, but some basic order चाहिए. You cannot control a lot of variables, but there are a lot of variables you can control. You don't know whether you'll write well today or you'll write not so well today, but you can control whether or not you will write today, right? And
actually not really. Sorry, doctor. No, I want to intervene there. Often that also is not. That's a variable. I could wake up and then I think आज बहुत अच्छा writing day. अच्छा meaning productivity, not the quality. And there are days when you don't write, even if you had all the time in the world and सब कुछ हो रहा है. वो एक flow ही नहीं आ रहा है. So
I get that, and that happens in terms of a creative process. But so when we talk about certainty, we can say that okay, I might just write rubbish, or I might just be able to put pen to paper and or even just edit a previous draft, if not write a new thing. But whether or not I can do that is something that is still relatively in my control. अगर मुझे नेटवर्क करना है with my colleagues or other things, that is in my control. वहां से सामने से कोई रिस्पॉन्स आएगा या नहीं, that is not in my control. But जब हम अनसर्टेनिटी को फेस करते हैं तो बहुत सारे लोग बहुत सहम जाते हैं कि पता नहीं क्या होगा, तो कुछ नहीं करते हैं. और उस वजह से वो एक सेल्फ फुलफिलिंग साइकिल हो जाती है. अगर मैंने रीच आउट नहीं किया अपने कलीग्स को तो मुझे वर्क नहीं मिलेगा तो मैं कहूंगी मेरा कुछ नहीं होने वाला है, आई एम अ पुअर राइटर, मुझे कोई नोबडी वांट्स टू एम्प्लॉय मी और नोबडी वांट्स माय स्टोरी, इसलिए मैं वापस रीच आउट नहीं करूंगी. तो एक साइकिल जब बन जाती है तब कठिन होता है. तो अगर आपको लग रहा है कि हाँ अनसर्टेनिटी है बट सर्टेनिटी है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये सारी चीजें अगर आप राइट नहीं कर पाते हैं तो लेट अस से यू आर लुकिंग एट even if you're doing other things associated with it, you are still being productive towards an end, right? And we shouldn't look, and I think we should learn not to look in terms of every day or few hours. We should look in terms of chunks, because आपकी जो इंडस्ट्री है ऐसे है कि हाँ in general every day नए updates नहीं होंगे, every day एक output नहीं होगा. It's like unlike for me, I will say okay, every day I see 5 patients, 10 patients, 20 patients, whatever. Right? So there is an everyday event. Versus in your this would be possibly looking at 1 week or over a month. क्या आउटपुट आया है, कैसे चल रहा है, नहीं चल रहा है. अगर हम अपना टाइम फ्रेम कभी कभी बदलते हैं तब हम अनसर्टेनिटी में भी सर्टेनिटी ला सकते हैं, राइट? तो हमें अपने सोचने के तरीके, अपने नजरिए को अपने प्रोफेशन के हिसाब से भी बदलना जरूरी होता है.
And so therefore be able to actually structure your writing output, not necessarily like an everyday 9 to 5 job, but at least have 2 weeks of productivity,
right?
Or
no, I think someone will, but my dog may bark in the background, so
okay, that's fine. Yeah, but I'm saying so therefore structure is actually very important to have, and have some sort of a routine, as opposed to like the great Javed Akhtar once said, if you just wait for inspiration, wo saal mein ek baar hi aayega.
Exactly.
So if you're a writer, show up on your desk and just write, and like you said, edit, call, read, or like what I do, I often just write like top of the name of the scene, like scene number and whatever, interior exterior. मैं एक दिन ऐसे ही करती हूँ, that's also writing according to
that is
full creatively, but it's towards an output, like you said, right? So yeah,
one thing, Anuradha, that is also important is that for a lot of people they have different ways of writing. Like some people require novel stimulation, like आज अगर हमने टेबल पे लिखा है तो कल जाके डेस्क पे लिखना होता है और उसके बाद कहीं और लिखना होता है, राइट? some people होते हैं जो एक ही टेबल पे लिख सकते हैं, दूसरे जगह पे लिखना उनके लिए संभव नहीं होता. Exactly. So they have their own individual differences. कोई लोग, but I think what is important is something you said perfectly. Don't wait for the perfect moment. वो perfect moment अगर आए भी तो शायद आप लिख नहीं पाए, आप बाथरूम में थे तो वो moment चले गया, आप क्या करोगे, right? So it may not come, but अगर आपने आदत बनाई है putting pen to paper, आपका दिमाग उस हिसाब से सोचने लगेगा, तैयारी करेगा और उस हिसाब से आउटपुट आएगी. So that is something that's important, and that's wonderful that you brought that up.
Right. So therefore, then, taking it to my to the next part. So actually, what you're saying is that, like, so therefore, as a creative person and as a writer, I must know what gives me flow. What's my structure, right? कि मैं वो इंसान हूँ जो हमेशा हर 5 दिन इधर-उधर भटकने से मुझे कुछ मिलेगा या एक ही जगह बैठ के मिलेगा. So what you're really hinting at, doctor, and I would like to clarify, is that it's a relationship with oneself.
Yes.
And I think this is one of those professions where you cannot help but have one with yourself, right?
Yes.
There's no question of being yourself.
Yes.
It's almost like karma, if you ask me.
But it's also something you should challenge yourself. Very often that we say that, maybe that worked for you in the past. Not being saying that is the only way that it has worked.
Yes, that's right. So new stimulus each time and reinventing yourself.
Yes.
And which is a continuous relationship with yourself.
Yes.
Right. So therefore, then my next topic, which I think is probably the most important one, is self-esteem. I think every creative person will go through that, because by nature our work is open to judgment. Unless it's out there in the public, मैंने क्या काम किया, मेरी स्क्रिप्ट का कोई फायदा ही नहीं अगर वो बनी नहीं, और वो बनेगी तो वो क्रिटिक होगा ही होगा, चाहे उसको 5 स्टार मिले या 1.5. So when I'm in that kind of profession where judgment is natural and therefore validation is so important, how do I maintain self-esteem?
I think the important thing is कि अगर आपने कुछ लिखा और वो स्क्रिप्ट बनी और वो बाहर गई, आपने almost 99% of the population से जाकर बड़ा काम किया. So you are already done much more than, let us say, I could ever do in my life. So आपको ये बात याद रखनी है कि आपने ऑलरेडी एक लेवल हासिल किया है जो मोस्ट लोग हासिल नहीं कर पाते. उनके ख्वाब हो, मेरे मन में 10 कहानियां हैं, मैं जब तक उन्हें लिखूंगी नहीं और I don't put it out there, that is completely meaningless. तो बेसलाइन आपका दूसरों के मुकाबले एटलीस्ट हायर है. हाँ, क्रिटिसिज्म आती है लोगों के साथ, बट इफ you it is very easy to make something everyone likes, but very difficult to make something that everyone loves without having other people hate it.
Right, yeah.
Right? So if you want people to feel emotionally towards your work, you have to be ready कि वो emotion positive भी हो सकती है और negative भी हो सकती है. Right? And वो कहीं ना कहीं अगर मुझे बिल्कुल पसंद भी नहीं आए तो क्यों नहीं आए, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं एक emotional chord मुझ पर it has touched something. Right? तो ये एक चीज हमें याद रखनी है कि अगर लोगों को पसंद नहीं आए, by itself वो आपकी वैल्यू को बढ़ाता नहीं है, घटाता नहीं है. बहुत सारे लोगों का वर्क over time, over years has been appreciated, and at that time people have thought it to be inappropriate trash. That is a story for so many artists.
Yes, posthumously
over time. Yes, and posthumously मतलब 200 300 years also, not even कि posthumously म्हणजे अभी.
That's true.
Right? So by itself, people's opinion of your work is not a true reflection of your work. It is important if you're looking at it in terms of maybe monetary value, right? Because घर तो चलाना है, that is important.
It's a whole
but there are
topic.
Yes, that's a whole different topic, and it's important not to equate the two. How successful you have been is not equal to how good the quality of your work is. It might happen, but it not as well. And you have to possibly make a choice at some level. Am I looking for success in terms of monetary work, or am I looking at quality in terms of my name? Because there are slightly different ways, and I'm sure you all are aware of that. That it's molded differently depending on what you want as outcome.
Yes.
Expecting both outcomes together happens, but that is quite uncommon, right? Second thing in all of this is that you are looking at yourself and putting a part of your soul, like we talked about, out in the world.
Yeah.
And people will criticize, but so far at least India is constitutionally a free country. Everyone has a right to their opinion, and that opinion is not equal to fact.
So that's the main thing. Opinion is not fact. Yeah.
Opinion is not fact. And that is something, so a person may say, okay, look, what you've said is complete rubbish and it doesn't make sense to me. That's their opinion. And they are completely, it's something that they feel and that they have the right to feel. That does not make it true. And they have an opinion about one part of your output, not you.
Yes.
Right? We take our work as us.
Yeah. That's
it is a facet of us at the most.
Yes.
It's just it's like one of the outpourings of me. It's like 1 or 2 strands of my hair are not good. Okay, that is not necessarily me. So a little bit of distinction between you as a person, you as your creative output, and your creative output as brought forth by others, because you would write the screen,
100 other 1,000 other technicians will be at work. Yes.
There are so many other facets. There's an interpretation someone else has of the words you have put, and a portrayal another person has of that interpretation that someone. There's so many
layers.
parts of it. Yes, so that is not truly you. It has become something different. You are a part of it, but that is not truly you. And you have to remember that criticism is directed towards that, not you as a person, not you as your ability.
That's right. No, that is just so precious, Doctor. So just staying with this a little more, and so much part of my own journey in the last 4 years and so many others is that when you learn to understand that just because you're creative and you put a part of your soul out there, that is not you.
Yeah.
So I think it's also important that everybody also focuses on other facets of one's life.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying just personal or family or whatever, or just I'm traveling, but what are the other ways that your soul expresses itself, which is not necessarily monetary or where you're going to get some award, or even it's not going to go anywhere, but you get to express yourself and those are your facets.
Yes.
So if you can talk a bit about that.
I think जो research है creative people पर, वो दिखाता है कि most creative people की creativity एक ही area में नहीं होती.
Absolutely correct.
So you might write, you might paint, you might dance. बहुत सारी चीजों में आपकी एक creative input होती है. हाँ, एक area में आपकी strength सबसे ज्यादा होगी, या आपकी liking सबसे ज्यादा होगी, आपकी काबिलियत सबसे ज्यादा होगी. पर इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि दूसरे नहीं है. एंड ये जो दूसरे क्रिएटिव एबिलिटीज है, आउटपुट्स है, इन्हें आपको नर्चर करना उतना ही जरूरी है जितना आपके प्राइमरी स्ट्रेंथ है, क्योंकि ये आपका पार्ट है. और अगर आप उसे दबाओगे तो उसका एक नेगेटिव असर अपने माइंड पे पड़ता है.
Yeah, sure, makes sense. So I'm saying, so taking this only further, Doctor, so I think that's normal human tendency, but क्योंकि writer अक्सर फ्रीलांसर भी होता है, सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड भी होता है, और आजकल कोविड के बारे में तो पूछो ही मत. we'll get to that later. So what happens is, I think there's a lot of comparative thinking. I see that around कि आधे लोग जो है फेसबुक का किसी का पोस्ट देख के सोचते हैं वही उसकी लाइफ है.
राइट.
they often think अरे उसको क्या प्रॉब्लम है, अरे इसका ये हुआ है और मेरी लाइफ ही. How do you tackle comparative thinking, envy, that kind of
ये जो एक टर्म अब आने लगा है एटलीस्ट हमारे सर्कल्स में, ऑफ टॉक्सिक पॉजिटिविटी. यानी जहाँ पे एक दिखावा होता है कि पॉजिटिव ही है, हम सिर्फ खुश है एंड हमारी लाइफ में सब अच्छी है एंड एवरीथिंग इज ग्रेट. एंड ये सारी चीजें में दिखावा अब बहुत हो गया है. सोशल मीडिया इज अ ग्रेट वे टू रीच आउट, बट करेंटली इट हैज बिकम अ चैनल ऑफ दिखावा, राइट. एंड ये सारी चीजें बहुत अफेक्ट करती है इंडिविजुअल को. तो कंपैरिजन इज इम्पोर्टेंट टू हेल्प यू ग्रो. कंपैरिजन पर आजकल लोगों की सेल्फ एस्टीम कम कर रहा है, उनकी उनको डरा रहा है कि मैं शायद इनके कंपैरिजन में कभी कुछ कर नहीं पाऊंगा तो मैं कुछ ना करूं. आपको एक ही यू आर सीइंग द फाइनल पॉलिश्ड प्रोडक्ट व्हेन आप एक पिक्चर देखते हो किसी की लाइफ की, मान लो वो ग्रीस में है कहीं पे स्विमिंग कर रहे हैं, वो एक नजरिया है, एक स्नैपशॉट है.
10 पिक्चर्स का एडिट है.
Exactly. And वो भी फोटोशॉप किया है, it's not even a natural picture. Right? वो एक it's such a small part of a person's life that it means nothing. Right? That is something, हम अगर सोशल मीडिया पे हम ध्यान नहीं देंगे तो वो हमारी लाइफ को टेक ओवर करता है. And for lot of people we start telling them social media detox. आपको कांटेक्ट में रहना है, आप शायद ज्यादा से ज्यादा 15-20 मिनट दिन में एक बार लॉग ऑन करिए, क्योंकि कुछ भी इम्पोर्टेंट होगा, वो किसी को आपको हैप्पी बर्थडे विश करना है या कुछ करना है, वो 15 मिनट में हो जाएगा, उसके ज्यादा जरूरत नहीं। किसी के आपने कहाँ के पिक्चर्स मिस हो गए, आपकी लाइफ में कुछ
Yeah. Right. Okay. So that leads us to the next question, Doctor, which is related to boundaries. So what happens is, as writers, of course, I think I can't say all of us, but most of us would tend to be a little empathetic. We are empaths also. Some personalities are like that. But even if we aren't, what happens is that we are very low in the power chain.
राइट।
हम लोग फूड चेन में बहुत ही रियली काफी लो है अभी भी, क्योंकि सबको लगता है कि कंप्यूटर पे ही तो काम हो रहा है ना, और आपका डॉक्यूमेंट कहीं गया तो कोई भी चेंज कर देगा, आपके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स वन साइडेड हैं, आधे पैसे नहीं आते। तो क्या होता है कि हमारे लिए ये पावर के साथ डील करना, बिकॉज हम बेसिकली डाइवर्जेंट थिंकिंग है, ये बेसिकली स्लाइटली रिबेल बाय थॉट, सो वी हैव टू हेड बट विद पावर, बट वी डोंट, बिकॉज और हमको बाउंड्रीज बनाना बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है, and that's true I think often in relationships as well.
Yeah.
So how do we maintain boundaries?
I think this is in a way related to what we talked about self worth, right? एक इंडिविजुअल की एक सेल्फ वर्थ होती है जो उसे खुद अगर रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं करेगा तो उसकी बाउंड्री एस्टैब्लिशमेंट बहुत डिफिकल्ट होती है, राइट? व्हाट शुड यू टेक एज नो, व्हाट यू शुड टेक एज यस, व्हाट ज्यादा एस्टैब्लिश कर पाते हैं। माय रिकमेंडेशन इज ऑलवेज प्रैक्टिस इट। हमारे लिए बचपन से फॉरगेट राइटिंग, फॉरगेट ऑल ऑफ दीस थिंग्स, ना कहना हमें कभी सिखाया नहीं, राइट? खुद के अगर किसी ने आपको प्रेज किया हो, वो भी हाउ टू टेक प्रेज एंड एक्सेप्ट प्रेज and say I have done something good is also not taught to us. क्योंकि अगर कोई आपको कहेगा कि आपने ये अच्छा किया था, नहीं इसने मुझे हेल्प किया, नहीं ये है वो है, हमारे एक्सक्यूजेस होते हैं ताकि हम प्रेज को डिफ्लेक्ट करते हैं, और क्रिटिसिज्म को तो भर भर के बुफे में मिल रहा हो वैसे खाते हैं, राइट? तो वी आर, दिस इज समथिंग जब हम बहुत यंग एज से हमें सीखना, एक्चुअली अभी बच्चों को सिखाना जरूरी होता है, बट हमें भी वी कैन ऑलवेज लर्न इट एज अडल्ट। लर्निंग टू से नो अगेन इज सेइंग नो टू एन आइडिया, टू अ कंसेप्ट और रिक्वेस्ट, नॉट टू द अदर पर्सन, राइट? Secondly, accepting and learning with praise and saying, okay, I have done this right, this is my capability, this is my capacity is important. If you do that, and if enough writers do it, it is very difficult then for you to be taken for granted, right? This is something, so when we talk about it in the professional sense, it is something where a lot of people need to come together for a change in people's perception of writers as a profession will change.
That's really interesting and important. So basically we could also try and achieve emotional unity as opposed to just legal unity.
Yes, because it's always I think what happens is whenever power anyone plays a power game, it tends to divide and rule kind of
yes
thing. ये तो है ही ना.
So I think the association has managed that extremely well. It really has. So ये फूट अब हमारे में actually काफी होती नहीं है. But having said that, actually what I'm really asking is, because that's an experience we have almost on a daily basis. क्या होता है, हम power situation से अक्सर deal करते हैं via contract, project, etc. तो कई बार क्या होता है कि we've learned to say no also, but how to say no, right? So that's also very important. So sometimes क्या होता है, आप बहुत weak no बोल देते हो.
बिल्कुल.
क्या बोलते हैं, अरे यार जाने दो, it's okay, let's just settle, और sometimes the no is so harsh कि मतलब मैं तो डूबूंगी, but I'm a suicide bomber then, I'm going to burn this whole tower down.
Yeah.
So that's also like, it's drastic. You learn to say,
I think when people are confronted with a situation that makes them uncomfortable, वो जो हम कहते हैं ना fight or flight response एक तरह से active हो जाती है. तो आपका fight response is at very strong no, and the flight response is at बिगी बिल्ली जैसी no बोल के आप निकल गए, right? पर वही बात है कि आप अगर एक सिचुएशन को एक कन्फ्रंटेशन के नजरिए से देखेंगे तो ये इमोशंस आने नेचुरल है, राइट? अगर आपको हमें अपना नजरिया बदलना है, किसी ने अगर आपको कोई रिक्वेस्ट की है, कुछ कहा है, वो आपके अभी पावर एक्चुअली आपके हाथ में है देखा जाए तो, right? It's actually a flip over. If someone wants you to do something, you are the person who decides whether you should do it or not, right? And you need to be able to take that power correctly. What I mean by that is, very often हमने 4 चीजों के लिए हाँ कहा है जो हमें नहीं करना था, अब 5वीं चीज आ रही है जिसके एक्चुअली हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, बिकॉज हम पर हमारे मन में ऑलरेडी वो 4 चीजों का गुस्सा है, तो हम ये 5वीं चीज पे अड़ जाते हैं, which makes no sense, right? So we are kind of making things more difficult for ourselves, or the other way around, we have said no for 4 things, तो इसलिए 5th thing के हम चलो हाँ ठीक है कर लें. Event, each request is an independent one, and most often the reason आप ना कहते हैं या बाउंड्री सेट करते हैं क्योंकि आपका एक विजन है, एंड जो सामने वाला इंसान है वो विजन को पूरी तरह से देख नहीं पा रहा बिकॉज उसके माइंड में अभी तक वो पूरा फॉर्म नहीं हुआ है. ना अगर ईगो की वजह से बोल रहे हैं तो इश्यूज और हैसल्स आएगा, अगर ना एक विजन की वजह से बोल रहे हैं एंड यू आर कॉन्फिडेंट इन दैट विजन, so please stand up for it because that vision is clearest in your mind, not the other person, right? So learning when to say no is as important as how to say no, and if you take no as a confrontation, then you are going to behave in either extreme,
right? Yeah, so I guess
in other situations also. What I mean to say is there are a lot of relationships in our life that are not professional where also this saying no is a problem.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, it's
so,
360
yeah,
degrees.
so you can't expect to not practice it in other areas and expect it to magically come only in one area.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so therefore, you stand up for yourself and take your power as a person in all areas of life, right?
Yes.
So, and professionally in one of them. So, Doctor, the last question in this segment, and beyond which we can also go into Q&A a bit. The question is really about solitude versus loneliness. So I feel there's a bit of a conundrum there. It's a bit of a catch-22 because in order to write and create, you do need solitude.
Yeah.
आपको एक शांति चाहिए, concentration चाहिए. But suddenly when you poured yourself so much into that, you come out and you realize, whether you're single or not is immaterial. There is a lot of loneliness.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? And often what happens, the conundrum is that, and I'm completely guilty of that, and most people here might be, कि मुझे solitude अपना चाहिए और उस समय जब मैं निकल के आऊँ तब मुझे company चाहिए. But I don't think relationships work like that. They don't just match your timetable of what you need. So how do you deal with it?
I think I am just aware that loneliness is the pain of being alone and solitude is the glory of being alone.
How lovely. Yes, that really explains it.
Very, so with the same.
Yes, succinct. Yeah.
Right? And अगर हम देखें तो most people जो creative होते हैं, especially writers, उन्हें solitude की जरूरत होती है. उनका जो makeup हम कहते हैं ना कि solitude की जरूरत होती है कि वो ideas flow उस तरह से आए, वो output उस तरह से आए, और वो उनकी एक creative जरूरत है. Forget output in terms of other things, right?
And it's like a tool of the profession. It's the way the beast is.
एक तरह से वो एक physiological necessity भी है, क्योंकि because if अगर आप 24 घंटे लोगों के बीच में होते हैं, आप ओवरवेलम हो जाओगे, राइट? बिकॉज जिस तरह से आपकी सोच है, जो आप कहते हैं ना, जैसे एज एम्पैथ्स, एज पीपल हु आर वेरी सेंसिटिव टू सिचुएशन, स्टोरीज, पीपल अराउंड, वो एक ओवरवेलम होने की टेंडेंसी भी है साथ साथ, राइट? तो वो जरूरी है समझना कि सॉलिट्यूड आपकी एक तरह से अगर जरूरत है तो जरूरत है. Relationships में, yes, I agree that we are not expecting that everyone should be able to give you that space or the other thing, but कहीं ना कहीं एक choice relationships में हमें, it's like professional personal choices everyone has to make at some level, but most relationships will understand that solitude for work output is different from not giving a person time, not being there for them, because most people, we know that if a person you care about needs you, you're going to be there. You're not going to say मुझे तो अभी solitude चाहिए भाई, मैं जा रही हूँ. But what happens is we tend to again revel in our solitude. We make it a part of ourselves, and we sometimes use it as an escape mechanism. Difficult situations, difficult people, तभी हमें एक तरह से अवॉइडेंस भी होता है, तो होता है कि नहीं, देख, आई नीड माई स्पेस, आई वांट माई सॉलिट्यूड टू वर्क. Now that is using it in a different way, and that is what pushes people away, because people around you are also perceptive. They also understand what emotion you are coming with when you are asking for that distance,
space.
Yes. And then what happens is that because we start pushing people away, we tend to feel more lonely.
Right.
People are not important for loneliness. Sometimes you may be in a crowded room and still feel lonely.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So that is why it's important for us to remember that it's about emotional connect. When loneliness is something that we look at, so you have to see, if you're emotionally connected with someone, you will not feel lonely. And solitude is just the joy of being alone and glorying with it.
Right, very beautifully explained, doctor, and absolutely expected. But just the total last question in this section would be: so, what of loneliness? You know, suppose you don't have someone to emotionally connect with. I mean, a lot of people don't, and again, that has nothing to do with your marital status, right?
Yeah.
Either you're connecting with people or you're not. So, if you don't have someone, then how are you going to deal with loneliness? What's the
You have
tool?
to be yourself.
So, what's the tool for that, really?
I think
What would be your suggestion?
the first friend you have is kind of yourself. A lot of people are in extremely antagonistic relationships with themselves, where they don't accept themselves, where they are extremely uncomfortable being alone with thoughts. No, in fact, I don't think we have time for this, but there was a experiment that was done, and that kind of found that people would prefer giving themselves mild electric shocks and being alone with their thoughts.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's the kind of antagonistic
My
relationship we
God.
have with
Okay.
ourselves, right? And what we see is people who tend to do well in solitude, to do well in isolation, are people who have a more positive relationship with themselves, more accepting towards themselves, and negative, they're positive, all their thoughts. So if you aren't doing that for yourself, it's very difficult for you to establish a healthy relationship with someone else. And that is when you start feeling lonely, because if you don't accept yourself, you don't know yourself, you cannot open yourself to be vulnerable to another person. If you don't do that, then automatically loneliness आने ही वाला है, because आप साथ में भी बैठे हो, पर अगर वो इंसान आपको जानता नहीं है तो loneliness तो लगने ही वाली है. तो first खुद के साथ relationship जो है उस पे work कीजिए.
Right. Yeah. So, would it be safe to say, doctor, that a healthy relationship with yourself would be making the chances of depression lesser? Is there a correlation?
I think when you have a healthy relationship with yourself, the chances of emotional stress tend to come down, and through that route, the risk of depressive and anxiety disorders tends
Much
to,
less.
yeah. So it's kind of an indirect relationship,
Yes.
but it's important.
Yes. So okay. So then actually our story really completes है. वो character जहाँ से शुरू हुआ था, वो, is really standing at the kagar of having a very important relationship with yourself, because you're your best friend. You're the only one who will last till your own funeral, right? So and beyond. So therefore, I think it has been an absolutely fantastic discussion already. In the last segment, which is already going to be open to question and answer, I think it's very important to focus on the present times, doctor. And I'm sure right now the mental health situation must be really shooting through the roof. And I'd just like to start with a question somebody already asked. I'm just going to synopsize it. What he said, I think it was a he, said that when you're sitting in an 8x8 bedroom and he's sitting by his laptop and he's writing, so वो बहुत ही positive है and feels very good and very boosted, can write great stories. But when he steps out and he sees the depression, and in fact he sees the sad situation around, it all comes down by evening.
Right.
So how does that person, that writer or whoever, keep up the momentum, keep up the positivity?
I think जो आप बात कर रहे हैं, this is the general state of depression is currently something that's affecting 7 billion people at this point of time, given the COVID epidemic. And आप और मैं कोई भी reality से अलग नहीं है. The difference what happens is कि बहुत सारे लोग जो अब for example people who get affected, who are getting down, are they're getting emotionally invested in the present. While I understand it's important to keep yourself updated, aware of the news in general, emotional investment to a limit, you need to learn to cut down and switch off from it. Especially in this day, because you're going to very soon, and this is again not for writers, you're going to have emotional fatigue, because every day if you keep reading death tolls around the world, around the country, this crisis, that crisis, it will drain you emotionally, right? So being able to distance yourself from that is important. Secondly, if you're able to, when you're able to bring in, like we talked about solitude, or उस solitude में आप work कर सकते हैं, then choose the time when you're able to get out and maybe deal with the family and all. So it's kind of like 9 to 5 जैसे work कर रहे हैं, there's a time period where you're putting in creative input, you're writing everything, and then there's a time beyond you are putting yourself out there for other people's emotional needs, for example, if that's your family and so on. So it's important in this crisis situation that we're also there for other people who need us. So we kind of have to learn to balance that out.
And that would be actually relevant across all times. Why just COVID?
Yeah, it is. So it is
segment that, right?
Yes, and I think here the ability to switch off is also important from work and from feeling. Because if you don't do that, it will take a toll on you. It will drain you. So that skill, I think we all need to be able to, especially people who are dealing with emotions. So writers, psychiatrists, and psychologists, we have to learn to switch on and say, this is as much as I can do emotionally today, and tomorrow is a new day and I start afresh again.
I think that's a very salient point. How do we? So one is the workout part. How do you invest and switch off from there? The other is how do you switch off from having either done enough or at least connected emotionally with the world at large. Family is like I would say the midpoint in this, right? There's your work, there's world, and there's family, and you would be able to structure it in a day actually. Emotionally actually switch off from each to have your own me time maybe.
Yes, it is extremely important.
Okay, that's great. So any questions now? We are ready to take some Q&A.
Devashish, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Are you there? Hi, anyone of the panelists here?
Devashish, are you on mute?
Okay, so while they're figuring this out, and if there aren't any more questions, so I would still like to just focus a little more, Doctor, on just general information. I mean, the world is where it is. Somebody else already asked me a question here, which maybe I can answer a little bit because in the purview of writing. But they said that everyone's saying that the world will be different when we step out of this. So what are your views on this? Because the person is asking what kind of stories will we tell thereafter. So I'll answer that.
I think the world will be different because we are going through something which it hasn't been seen for more than 100 years.
Right.
And that's not necessary. I mean, when I say not necessarily bad, and I don't mean about the death and the destruction and that kind of story.
Of course.
I think change is something that's going to happen. But in terms of stories, I think what doesn't change is the fact that we are all human beings. Right? Stories have remained commonplace, important to us from the beginning of time. We look back at the oldest stories of the tale of Gilgamesh. 5,000 saal ho gaye, but if you still read it today, you still feel emotionally connected. So as humans, we are not going to change. जो stories हमें पहले पसंद थी, वो अब भी पसंद होने वाली है. शायद एक around 1 year period होने वाला है जब हमें बहुत ही therefore for people who have lost people close to them, or for people who've been frontline, they may not feel very comfortable seeing stories of death and other things, but it's not like it's going to be a population wide thing, right? Stories are like we call nourishment for the soul, so we need them more at this time than any other time.
Absolutely. So basically what you're saying is we need more stories now, and stories of all kinds, and also just personally sharing the briefs I get right now actually pretty varied, so they're not necessarily only feel good.
Hi, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, now we can. Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, hello, we can see you.
Have I interrupted you? Were you discussing?
No, that's fine. We were just, finishing that part of the conversation. So if there's any Q&A now that you want to take up from...
I've actually forwarded a couple of questions to Dr. Kate. So if you can see them, Doctor, and if you want to answer any of them.
Sure. I could also look at them again.
Yeah.
I think there's just to her.
I think one is the spiritual activism help avoid depression. So being spiritual is something, first of all, it's not that every individual has an underlying propensity for spiritual thought, right? And again, it's a process that comes naturally and shouldn't be enforced on anyone. Why I say that is because it kind of there become fads that this is what we should do to get better, or this is what is important, and so on and so forth. So we don't want to do that. Spirituality helps us connect with a lot of our higher emotions, helps us give us a more philosophical frame of mind, which helps us distance ourselves from present suffering, which kind of makes us look at the bigger picture. And like I said, that indirectly helps us, decrease our emotional stress, and then therefore directly help us with regards to
other
depression.
disorders.
But we have seen people who have, at least I have personally been treating people who are at extremely high level of levels in spiritual organization. But I'm not talking about their spirituality. I'm not a person who can comment about that. But when you talk about a medical disorder is not going to make a distinction on whether you are or are not spiritual, what your age, your race, your political bent, anything is. So that remains true here.
Great. So
I think we can take one last question, Debashish. Is there one other question that
I'm
Dr.
just
Kate would like
going
to
through
answer?
them. So I think we've already covered this part about how to avoid procrastination and how can rejection be used for better thoughts. For our members, I just have a special note that this entire video has been recorded and it will be available later on our social media portals. So in case you have any questions, please go through the video again and you might find the answers that you have just asked, those of you who have just joined in. And
so let me do a closing question then, if you don't have any from the audience.
Sure.
So back to Doctor. Yes, Doctor, I think, what a healthy and fabulous discussion we've already had. So, I'd like to ask the question, which is where I've actually left my own therapy at, as in, where it stands at, is that how do you find balance in your life? How do you find that I'm just using some technical words here, but, the balance between the child and the parent and adult in you? How do you do that?
We all have different parts of us, right? And it's important to realize that each part of us looks at expression in different aspects of it. If you try to, really, so kind your child, the parent is kind of the person who tells you what not to do, so to speak. And the child is the person who says, I want to do this, and is impulsive. But the child is also the person who has all the ideas, who is ready to
creative
explore.
being.
Yes, it is. And the parent need not always be the person who says no. The parent can also be the person who helps you explore what you need to, who guides you through it.
I'll just intervene here, Doctor. I'm so sorry, but just to explain to the lay person here, if you can explain the construct of these three states of ego, so that they understand.
I think so each of us has a part inside us. जो तरह से बच्चा है, जो जिसे चीजें चाहिए, जिसे चीजें इमीडिएटली चाहिए, जिसमें पेशेंस नहीं है, जो अपनी भावनाओं पे चलता है। एक भाग होता है जिस एक प्रकार से हमारे माँ बाप का जो किरदार निभाता है, जैसे कहते हैं
पेरेंट,
हर चीज में रुकावट ला सकता है कि ये नहीं करना, इससे ये नुकसान होगा, लोग क्या बोलेंगे, लोग क्या सोचेंगे। एंड एक तरह से जो हमने वो बचपन में सुना है वो हम अपने आप में उसका एक भाग बना लेते हैं। और एक भाग होता है जो ये सबका मिश्रण होता है और जो आम जिंदगी के साथ एक बैलेंस तरीके के साथ हैंडल कर पाता है, जो अडल्ट होता है, तो ना कि अपने भावनाओं से डिसीजन लेता है और ना कि लोगों के डर से सोच डिसीजन लेता है, पर बैलेंस बनाता है। ये जरूरी समझना है कि ये दोनों भाग जो है उनका एक योगदान भी हो सकता है पॉजिटिविटी के लिए। हम हमेशा इसके बारे में एक नेगेटिविटी की तरफ बात करते हैं कि हमें जो बच्चा है जो इम्पल्सिवली कुछ करता है, जिस तरह से हमारा नुकसान होता है, या फिर हमें जो पेरेंट है जो हमें हमेशा रोकता है अपने आप को व्यक्त करने से, क्रिटिकल होता है। बट वही दो भाग को अगर हम थोड़ा सा मॉडिफाई करके उसे डायरेक्शन दिखा सकते हैं तो एक तरह से बैलेंस लाना बेटर होता है। अपने आप में जो बच्चा है उसे एक्सेप्ट करना सीखिए, क्योंकि वो हम नहीं करते। अगर हमें कोई चीजें पसंद, जैसे आई गिव एन एग्जांपल, बहुत सारे टाइम जब मैं क्लिनिक में होती हूँ और मैंने अगर मान लो, खास करके ये माओं में बहुत कॉमन होता है कि आपका फेवरेट आइसक्रीम फ्लेवर क्या है, और माँ का जवाब हमेशा होता है जो उसके बच्चे का होता है, बिकॉज उसने अपने बारे में नहीं सोचा ऐसा चाहे। तो आपको क्या पसंद है, आप क्या चाहते हो, आप की भावनाएं क्या है, पहले तो वो समझना जरूरी है। एंड सेकेंडली जो हमारे माइंड में जो हमेशा एक आवाज होती है जो ना कहते, ये नहीं करना, ये क्या बोलेंगे, ये कैसे होगा, जो एक कॉशन की आवाज, उसे हमें यूज करना है। यस, अगर ये मेरी सोच लोगों में रिएक्शन लाएगी तो मुझे कॉशन होना चाहिए, मुझे समझना चाहिए कि ये दिक्कत ला सकती है, पर इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि मैं ना करूं। लेट मी यूज इट टू बी बेटर प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर द वर्ल्ड rather than use it to stand back in the corner again, right? And is what an adult does, जो दोनों व्यूज पॉइंट देखता है, दोनों व्यू पॉइंट सोचता है और फिर एक डिसीजन लेता है सिचुएशन के हिसाब से, right? So let us start working on that, and it's a process. It's not something जो आज मैंने आपसे कहा और आप कल करना शुरू करोगे. मेरे लिए भी difficult है बहुत time. So I think we need to keep working on it.
Right. So great. So would it be safe enough to say that your building towards self-worth and boundaries would be your adult self, to work towards your adult self, and a balance of the child and the parent?
Exactly. Exactly. Knowing who you are, finally at the end of the day, is you are an amalgamation of all parts of you. You are not just a child, you're not just a parent, you're not just your bad thoughts, you're not just your good actions, you're a mixture of everything. And that is who you are, and we should remember that.
And what a great time, therefore, at that point in your life to start a spiritual journey of going beyond, right? I think that's the answer.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? And that's when a spiritual journey even makes sense.
Actually, yes.
Who are you beyond your own adult event?
Right. Dr. Kate, we just have one question asked by somebody on Facebook, that if somebody is suffering from depression severely, but he can't afford therapy or professional consultation or medication, can that person still cope with depression? Like
I think if a person, so I know this is a different answer given the COVID situation.
Right.
But under normal circumstances, almost all places have government hospitals with psychiatry department, right? I know it might involve standing in line, it might involve being crowded and pushed around a little, but getting help, and if that is an inconvenience, then maybe getting help it's not a bad way to get help. I have worked as an assistant professor at KEM, and where we would have a huge number of patients, but ऐसा नहीं था कि just because number है हम patients की बात समझने की कोशिश नहीं करते थे, effort नहीं डालते थे, right? ये situation therapy में difficult होती है क्योंकि therapy generally free therapy is very difficult to get, but in getting medical help, there are definitely avenues that are important, that are available. By yourself, very often जब हम कहते हैं, बहुत सारे लोगों को हम recommend करते हैं कि at least mild moderate severity अगर होती है दिक्कत की, at that point of time there are things that you can do. There is online CBT available, there are other types of modalities which can be tried. But अगर symptoms severe है तो then it makes sense to see a professional, because जो अपनी application होती है वो techniques की, वो भी करना difficult होती है जब severity बढ़ जाती है. So just for a short time, you might require some medications to just help you get into the place where you can actually exercise and use those techniques. So that it depends. The answer is really dependent on severity.
Sure. Thank you.
And therefore also available at government places. Right. So doctor, therefore, keeping, the like we just spoke, the spiritual part and the self-worth part, aside and in place, would like following brain health as a way of life, is that also an important neuroplasticity also comes in?
See, the brain is effectively you. I think that's I may be biased, but that's the most important organ we have, because if we lose that, we lose our identity, right? If I lose a limb, it will be terrible. I will be extremely unhappy. It will cause me disability for life, but I will not be me. But if I develop schizophrenia, for example, there is a large loss of identity that happens, right? So brain health becomes important, and everything that works towards brain health becomes extremely important over time, at any time, for everyone, right? And that can be as simple as khana time pe sona, to brain, exercise, how do you keep yourself active, cognitive exercises, emotional balance, so on.
Right. So there is a whole world out there called brain health, and I would go as far as to say it's like going to the gym, right? It's brain gym.
Yes.
So you would recommend that as something that one should follow in life.
If that is possible, if you can do it, it will be great. A lot of people tend to find, at least initially, this बचपना है, ये किसकी जरूरत है,
games खिला रहे हैं, things like
but
that.
So there, it's important for us to keep us.
Yeah, I brought this up because we actually have a few writers amongst us who've actually worked on this. They've studied it and they've got websites out there, and I'd really like to recommend that and them to the community here. And I just wanted to know if that was something you would recommend. And I think you do. Well, that's great, doctor. I think I've exhausted everything that I ever wanted to ask you, and I cannot believe I had such a long time with you. Although, to be fair, I've had long sessions with you. So many aha. If I can't really see anybody, I think the sort of collective mass energy reaching me is that I think we are very satisfied with everything that you said. Got great guidance here. A lot of solace to know that essentially what you said is that the power is really in our hands at any given point, and whether it's COVID pre or post or whatever, if we can just understand that and take charge of that, and be able to emotionally, tackle ourselves. And when we feel we can't, there's actually help available in terms of medication or professional help. So at any given time, actually, we always are empowered. Even when you feel powerless, you can seek that help in.
You're always in control, even when you feel.
Yes. So, that's so reassuring and so fantastic to hear. So really, thank you so much for your time. I have no words of gratitude actually to say this. So yes, please.
Thank you, Anuradha. Thanks.
So yeah, like the Act 1, Act 2 and Act 3 are over or abhi, and credits ka time aa gaya hai. So thank you so much, Dr. Kate, and thank you so much, Anuradha. It's rare, and I think this is the first time we have an experienced psychiatrist and an experienced writer-director जो कि एक session hold कर रहे for the mental well-being of our members. So this is a very special thing for us. And on behalf of SWA, I would like to thank both of you for your time and for your energy and sharing this positivity with us all. For our members, the entire video has been recorded and will be available on our social media portals. Thanks to all our members for being such a lovely audience for this entire session. And thanks to our EC members, Ishita Moitra, Sanjay Sharma, Dinkar Sharma, Ketki Pandit for helping us with this session. Thank you so much, Dr. Kate. Thank you, Anuradha. It was a lovely session.
Thank you. Thanks so much. And thank you all writers. I love you all.
Thank you. Bye.
All the best, and keep coming up with exciting stories.
Of course.
We are waiting desperately.
That's the goal, yes.
Now we have no pressure. Thank you so much, doctor. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you.
Good
Bye.
night, everybody. Stay safe.
Yes.
Bye.
And you